I was looking for some action. Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. I'm Mark Goldbridge and we are live for Manchester United against Charlton in the Carabao Cup. Apparently Kobbie Mainoo is going to start for Manchester United. Leroy Talks Football has joined the members club. You're very welcome. Thank you very much for tuning in, Leroy. And look, that's a very exciting start to the stream, isn't it? Just seeing my face for some people. No, but a young player starting in a game like this, I think it's massively exciting. I'm looking forward to it. I hope everybody else is as well. And yeah, very, very good. Very, very happy about it. I'm not happy about the position of my camera. Let's get that a bit there, yeah? A little bit more that way. Maybe if I move... there we go. Just need to move a bit centre. There you go. I'm not been live today, so I'm just not in my normal thing. But we're on time, yes. No, I'm always on time for team news. If it's a 7 o'clock start, I want to be on time for team news, so I'm not having any of that shit. We've also got Weghorst terms agreed, which we'll talk about in a moment or two. But let's hit the team news. We're sponsored by Boohoo Man as well. I've got my Boohoo Man hoodie. You can get your discounts through the link in the description or scan the QR code next to me. Big shout out to them. But of course, we are going to talk about team news before we talk about transfer news or Weghorst or anything else. We've got a bit of trivia coming in your way as well. But the starting lineup for Manchester United is rather interesting. I don't know whether we'll have it released on screen yet, but I can certainly try and see if they will. Sometimes takes a little bit of time for it to come through, and it hasn't come through yet, so we'll just keep it rolling round till it does. But I can read you the team news as it's empty on the screen. Heaton in goal. It looks like no Wan-Bissaka starting, which surprises me. He's gone with Dalot at right back. Maguire starts at centre back with Martinez, and then Malacia at left back. So I thought, maybe Martinez and Dalot just need a bit of game time, to be fair. Fred, McTominay and Mainoo in the midfield makes sense to me. And then Antony, Elanga and Garnacho as a front three. I mean, look, you know what? Charlton have got a chance. Charlton have got a chance. That's a very inexperienced front three. Antony's not really established himself in the Premier League yet. In England yet. And Elanga and Garnacho are very young. You've got Mainoo, who's very young. You've got McTominay and Fred, who really got to step up in a game like this. Maguire, I mean, the back four looks good, and then you've got a goalkeeper in Tom Heaton. So, I mean, it is interesting. The bench does have De Gea, Lindelof, Luke Shaw, Wan-Bissaka, Casemiro, Eriksen, Pellistri, Iqbal and Rashford on it. No Martial involved at all. I would have started... So look, I mean, straight away for me, what are your thoughts on the team? Because I've got to be honest, I don't have a problem with the team. I really, really don't. Ten Hag can pick whatever bloody team he likes. He is the boss, as we know. But I would say that I agree with Zero Blades, who's a bit surprised Butland isn't playing. I'd probably not had enough training sessions. I'd like to have seen Pellistri starting like George, but the one that surprises me a little bit, and I'll read the team out for you because it's not come up on our screen yet. So it's Heaton, Dalot, Martinez, Maguire, Malacia, McTominay, Fred, Mainoo, and then Garnacho, Elanga, and Antony. Now, the one that surprises me is Anthony Martial. And Just Kevin said he'd like to have seen Iqbal starting. Anthony Martial not starting surprises me because he needs game time. And Rashford's on the bench, who's had loads of game time. So is Martial carrying a knock again? I don't know. When I don't see Martial in a matchday squad, I panic. And I think we've all got a right to do that. But apart from that, very excited to see Mainoo starting. Good to see Garnacho starting. I think Lindelof's probably a little bit unlucky. He seems to now be fourth choice centre back, whereas before the World Cup he was third choice centre back. So Maguire steps in with Martinez. I'm surprised Wan-Bissaka's not starting over Dalot, but Ten Hag is hard. Ten Hag. I call him Ten Hard. He's really not for that reason. Anything new on Weghorst? We're just about to talk about him in a minute, Mr. Sue. It's very hard to read Ten Hag. My predicted team was actually he'd put De Gea in goal, Wan-Bissaka, Magaluf, Malacia, McFred, Martial, and he hasn't started Lindelof. He hasn't started Wan-Bissaka. Martial's not even in the squad. But I like the way that he's resting Eriksen, Casemiro, Bruno suspended, Varane, Luke Shaw, Marcus Rashford, David De Gea. I like the way that those players are getting a rest because I think they need to. And so I've got no issues with the team at all. But I think that I'm a little bit surprised. I just hope that Martial is fine, like Nessie says, because leaving him out completely doesn't really make sense. I think we've all. There's been quite a lot of criticism as Martial, and I actually think he needs a bit of game time. You know, I really do. But anyway, we are sponsored by Boohoo Man on the show. Boohoo Man's all about looking good and feeling great. And as we start the new year, then there is no better time to get yourself some brand new winter or active wear if you're down the gym, etc., or just chilling around the house. And because Boohoo Man are sponsoring the show, it means it's time for some football trivia. This week, we're seeing if you guys can guess which United legend Boohoo Man are talking about. So here we go. I was born on the 31st of December, 1941 in Glasgow, Scotland. You should get that straight away. Started my football career at Scottish side Queen's Park in 1957. During my career, I played 317 games, scoring 171 goals, but none of them were for United. I started working for United in 86 and did not leave until 2013. During my United career, I won 38 trophies, including 13 Premier Leagues, 5 FA Cups and 2 Champions League. And I'm the only manager to ever win the treble. Who am I? I played the game. I'm Sir Alex Ferguson. Well done to everyone who got that, especially if you got it on 31st of December, because, you know, it always rings out, Sir Alex, to me. And as always, Boohoo Man have given United Stand a discount for this video by scanning the QR code or clicking the link in the description and using the code Goldbridge. You can get an extra 10% off at Boohoo Man, excluding certain sale items. Thank you very much to Boohoo Man, as always, for supporting the show and being interactive with our audience. Absolute legends there, and you can get some fantastic, well-priced clothing from Boohoo Man, like the hoodie I'm wearing tonight, and many other bits and bobs. Check Boohoo Man out, link in the description, scan the QR code, use the discount code. Of course, it's Sir Alex. I'm just about to segue into a section. I'm a bit annoyed how late they're so late on this. Let me just put this in there and then we'll talk about Weghorst, because there is an update. I can't bloody type. Has there been an update on Donny? Well, you know what? Good point. We've not had an update on Donny at all. I'm just going to refresh this and see if it will bring the team news in, because it seems to be taking longer and longer for our system to pull through the starting lineup, and still it's not fucking there. Really annoying. So if you are tuning in, the United starting lineup is Heaton, Dalot, Wan-Bissaka. Heaton, Dalot, Maguire, Martinez, Malacia, McTominay, Fred, Mainu, Garnacho, Elanga, Antony. There you go. That is United's starting lineup. It will come up on that screen at some point, probably half time. I don't know what we pay it for. I really don't know why we bother paying for it. To help you segue, who's playing up top tonight, says Rory C. I think it'd be Elanga. Elanga down the middle, surely. What's your prediction, says Linda? I don't know nothing about Charlton. They're a mid-table League One side. I think we'll have more than enough quality to beat them. But it does go straight to penalties, I'm pretty sure. There's no replay. But it gives Charlton more of a chance with the team that United have picked. But, I'm happy with the team that he's picked. I think it's the right team to go with. Oh, for fuck's sake. What's going on now? My fucking internet's playing up a bit now. Bog off. No, it's back again now. Don't start tonight. I'm telling you. Do not start tonight, of all nights. Can't get the bloody team up, and now my internet's pissing about. It's because it's raining. I always say that. I have got an update for you on Weghorst. Apparently there's a 20-minute delay with the data that we get, so I may as well just knock that off for now. Let's take that. That's Gary Barlow, that. It's been raining a lot lately. Yes, it has. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner, I think our subscriber count says we're getting very close to 550k. So bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. Get involved. I love it. Don't you love it when you spot a twat in the chat? You just block them and then they carry... The great thing about blocking someone on YouTube, and it was very offensive what they said, so I'm not being an arse here. I don't normally block people, but the great thing about blocking someone on YouTube is they don't know they're blocked. So they type away and they don't understand why no one's reacting to them. You just don't know. You just don't know. And it's more empowering than blocking somebody on Twitter because they know they've been blocked then. Big love from Belfast, Mark. 90 minutes for the Butcher City at the weekend, says the Bow Show. Thanks very much for the super chats. You can do that through the $, and we'll read those out. And Jammy says it'd be a typical of United to go on a 7-game unbeaten run, then lose it to bloody Charlton. It's happened so awfully lately, I wouldn't be surprised. Also, Weghorst, it's not even his real name, says Foot. Is it not? I didn't know that. I did not know that. Anyway, we have got an update for you on Wout Weghorst. This is sort of breaking news in the last hour or so. Transfer news is so sporadic, isn't it, these days? You know, different people breaking different things. We saw João Felix go to Chelsea today. £8 million. Stop listening to people who say it's 11. It's 8 million. It was 11 million euros plus his wages. And remember that we got 5 million for Martial last year. So look, anyone who's saying it's too expensive, since when have you been a director of football? You know, do your bloody research. We got 5 million for Martial last year from Sevilla, and Chelsea paying 8 million for João Felix. The difference isn't massive, is it? Anyway, this is from Fabrizio Romano. It's an exclusive. Manchester United have reached full verbal agreement to sign Wout Weghorst. Understand deal will cost around 3 million euros to Besiktas. Weghorst will join on loan from Burnley. Final step needed. Besiktas will only approve the deal if they find the replacement. So look, we're in the home straight really now. It's going to happen. It's going to happen very, very soon. Manchester United have basically got their man. Whatever you think about it, I would just say it's not his fault. Because it's not. It's not. It's not his fault. It's not his fault. Leave him alone. It's not his fault. What do I think of Mainu starting? Says Tussa. I'm very happy about it. Don't think Weghorst is good enough, but being positive, besides COVID, he has missed 4 matches in his career to injury, says Farman. And Daniel, thank you very much for being a member of the channel. It's not his fault. Not his fault. And why am I saying it's not his fault? Because Wout Weghorst is not the quality we should be bringing in the position we are in, but at the end of the day we are, and that's not his fault. So we've just got to hope it works. I feel it's very, very similar to Ighalo, although I think Weghorst is better than Ighalo. It feels very, very similar to me. I remember feeling exactly the same about Ighalo. He was so excited to come to Manchester United. I remember, there was so many African supporters who were so excited about it, to have a player back playing for Manchester United from the African continent. And, Ighalo was so excited to come to United. But most of us knew it was just a cheap desperation deal, and we welcomed him and hoped he did well. I think with Wout Weghorst, he's massively excited about coming to Manchester United. I believe he's better than Ighalo, but obviously it's just not the quality we should be looking to make. And I want to talk about what was said in The Athletic this morning by Laurie Whitwell, because I think it completely exposes what this situation is. If any of you are silly enough to think that this is plan A, then it's not. This is basically, and I couldn't believe what was said actually in that article. But love to see Mainu starting, but why isn't Iqbal getting a chance, says Shub. Weghorst jumpers in, Mark, says Werner. And I know you don't touch this, Mark, but any news on Mason, because some sources are saying he's nearly free to come back. Not that I want him, says Stephen. I don't touch that shit, mate. He's in court at the end of the year. Like, how does that work? No, we don't go anywhere near that. Thank you very much. It will be interesting to have a striker that is a duck in order to head the ball, says Simon. And can you wish Liverpool supporter Tim Adams a happy birthday for tomorrow and remind him we have 20 titles? Thanks, Mark. Says 730 promo. Yeah, look forward to a happy birthday tomorrow, Tim. So I don't know whether you saw what Laurie Whitwell in The Athletic wrote about Manchester United this morning, but basically he was saying that United refused to invest in the January transfer window for a number of reasons. One of them being they don't want to spend money on anything short term in January. They want to wait until the summer and go for a more longer term option. He also goes on to say that there's concern about buying players now when effectively I read it that Ten Hag may not be here for the long term, which I found stunning. But however you dress it up, it is appalling that approach is being taken by Manchester United in January, because everything they try and put out is riddled with hypocrisy. Even if you take it on the basic level that we're going for Weghorst because we want to just get something on a loan, and he is a loan, he'll probably go back in the summer. Even if you take it as that, Man United are getting Weghorst on loan as a short-term cheap option to get us through to the summer, because they want to wait for long-term options. There was a cheap long-term option that was available that Ten Hag wanted, and his name was Cody Gakpo. So it's contradictory. They can't sit here. What they're trying to do is they're trying to convince you that, they can't get the long-term option they want now, so they're going to wait until the summer. But Gakpo was the player that Ten Hag wanted, and he was available. The truth is we've got no money. Just admit it. That's the truth. We haven't got the money. João Felix didn't snub Manchester United. Manchester United didn't have the money to pay 8, 9, 10, 11 million, whatever it is, as a loan fee. We're going for Weghorst because he's cheap. And it's a short-term gap. I'd be very surprised if Weghorst ends up being a Manchester United player beyond May, to be honest with you. I hope he is. Because if he is, he's done very, very well. But all we can do is get behind the player and hope he does well. But I will not be convinced by anybody that this is backing your manager. I think it's disgraceful. And I'm fed up of saying this because I've said it for about 3 years out of the last 4. This club is potentially giving up on the season in January. And that's terrifying. Who needs Jesus when we have Nketiah? He will get more goals than Rashford, says Zane. Smith Rowe and Jesus coming back. One of the best attacks in Europe, says Zane. Well, you know what? Transfer talk aside, we've got a Manchester derby on Saturday. I can't wait. And then we've got Arsenal the following week. Big games. Raw says, I'm actually optimistic about Weghorst. Brings strength in the air and holds up the ball well. Obviously could be better, but it's another option. Yeah, look, I said we'd bring somebody in. We've brought somebody in. Apparently Memphis might be going to Atletico Madrid now, by the way. When United are 500 plus million in debt, taking another 10 to 50 million debt is nothing. This shows how much the Glazers care. Get them out now, says Kanishka. Look, the money's not there because they don't want to spend it. Simple as that. Simple as that. And, we just need to accept it and move on. We will move on. I can't believe that they still haven't uploaded the team for this match yet. Apparently, it's something to do with Carabao Cup and putting it out there, but for some reason, it's just not there. So we will keep it on there. I think it'll be out in the next few minutes. But as I say, the Manchester United team news, if you want it, is Heaton in goal. Delo at right back, Harry Maguire, Martinez, Malacia, McTominay, Fred, Mainu, Garnacho, Alanga and Antony. I think Charlton have got a chance, I do think Charlton have got a chance, and I think it makes it a far more interesting game, because if we'd played Casemiro and Varane and Rashford, I think we would have beat them comfortably and we'd be sat here talking about our favourite packet of crisps in the second half. I actually think this makes it quite more of a competitive game. What do you think about Palestri over Alanga, says Sue. I would like to have seen Palestri start, but my theory is that Palestri will go out on loan in the next couple of weeks because Ten Hag doesn't rate him. I like the look of him, but I'm not the manager and I trust the manager. Why does Manchester Evening News write spin saying United made the right decision not getting Felix, claiming Ten Hag wanted Weghorst over Felix? Because you've just answered your own question. Other outlets, you can expose these people if you want to. It's very, very easy to do it. They'll have wrote an article about Ten Hag wanting João Felix last week. They did it with Cody Gakpo. They wrote articles about Cody Gakpo for weeks saying he was Ten Hag's number one target. And then he went to Liverpool and it was like, Ten Hag doesn't want Gakpo, he wants an out-and-out number 9. They're so dizzy, they don't realise how much they're spinning. So, look, I know for a fact, I'll sit here and say it. And if someone... if Ten Hag wants to ring me up and tell me it's not true, let's have an interview, because I know it's true. I know for a fact that he wanted Cody Gakpo as number 1 and João Felix as number 2. That's a fact. I can deal with it. Some United fans are arguing on social media with Chelsea fans and Liverpool fans saying we didn't want him and we didn't want them anyway, because that's, unfortunately, everybody's different. And if you go out to the pub and the girl of your dreams is in that pub and you've fancied her for years, and then your mate walks in and takes her home, you're just going to go the next day and never liked her anyway. Everyone knows you did, but you're just saving face. I ain't got a problem with people doing that, but you know, I know that Ten Hag wanted João Felix, and I know he wanted Gakpo, and we've ended up with Weghorst because he's cheap. And Ten Hag has said, get me him. He is the best option Ten Hag can get. We've got to hope it works. He's fighting with an arm tied behind his back. It's not Weghorst's fault. It's not Ten Hag's fault. There is no way that Weghorst has been forced onto Ten Hag. He has asked for Weghorst based on, you know, it's like when you want your first car and, you know, your mate's got a brand new Combine or Harvester. No, you know, your mate gets a brand new bloody Peugeot 206. I mean, you can tell by my age there. And you pass your test and it's, what am I getting? And it's like, yeah, you're not getting a new car. You're not getting a decent car. You're getting an old banger. Do you want an old Fiesta that's rusty? Or do you want an old Mini Metro that's rusty? And you pick what you want from the bargain basement. So Ten Hag has picked Weghorst from the limited budget he's been given. But what he actually wanted was João Felix and Gakpo. Is there any other sports you enjoy playing, says NAU? I don't really get a lot of time to play a lot of sports now. I'm worried we've gone to weak. I can't see how we are going to score, but I trust Ten Hag. Jack, I think we have. I don't think we've gone weak. I think we've made this game interesting. That's my theory. I think that this will give Charlton a bit of hope and should make for a good game. Liam says, hi Mark, how many goals should we expect from Weghorst for him not to be deemed a flop? I think if he gets 10, he's done his job, says Liam. I think it's very hard to predict how many goals somebody like Weghorst is going to score in a Manchester United shirt. There we go. United team on the screen for you. Got it at last. United paying 2 clubs for the same player is such a United transfer move, says Antony Tracy. So apparently we're going to pay €3 million to Besiktas for Weghorst, but Burnley don't want anything because they've already had a fee. I don't understand it really, but there you go. So yeah, I don't know about that, but Felix is a prima donna on high wages. We need to move away from signings like that. Weghorst suits Ten Hag's system well, says Raz. Raz, can you fucking listen, mate? Can you listen to yourself? You are delivering an opinion. Well done. Well done to Raz. Can we get a shout out for Raz for doing exactly what this community is all about? He's just expressed an opinion. We're better off not getting João Felix because Weghorst suits the system better. Well done, Raz, for expressing an opinion. But you're not manager of Manchester United, Raz. The manager of Manchester United wanted João Felix over Weghorst. Deal with it. Deal with it. You're not the manager. Ten Hag is. I've just explained to you what happened. He wanted Gakpo. He wanted João Felix. The club said no. He asked what the budget was and said, get me Weghorst then. If that's what we can afford, that's what I wanted. The club have gone and got Ten Hag what he wanted from the minimal budget he had. But what he actually wanted was Gakpo and Felix. So if you think we're in a better position, well done to you. But that's not what the manager wanted. So I want to give a big shout out for Raz expressing his opinion, but that wasn't what Ten Hag wanted. And what I would also say to people like Raz is, I get it. You're trying to spin a positive, and we must back Weghorst, and we must hope he does well. You're trying to spin a positive, but don't go so far that you're actually defending these prats who run our football club, because I won't do that, and I don't think a lot of people will. We should have got Gakpo. He shouldn't be wearing a Liverpool shirt. We're Manchester United. We're third in the league. We're having a great season. Ten Hag's done really well. He deserved to be backed with 40 million quid for Gakpo. He's ended up being given €3 million for Weghorst. That's not backing him. So if you think that's a good deal, you are pro this Glazer bullshit that we've been putting up for 17 years. And I can't wait for it to end, because I want to be in a situation next January where, if we are in this position next January, we've got owners who say, we'll get you Felix and we'll get you Cody Gakpo because we believe in you. And that's my frustration is, yes, we can try and spin a positive on this situation, and I desperately want Weghorst to do well. But is that the player we should be going for when we're third in the league, we're in all these trophies, he's done fantastically well? Is that reward? €3 million loan for Weghorst. Is that reward? Is that a replacement for fucking Cavani and Ronaldo? No, it's not. And that's where my frustration comes from. And I think some people are so thick that they don't understand that the negativity around what's happened in this transfer window is in no way aimed at the players, Ten Hag or Weghorst. It's aimed at the fact that, yet again, this club has walked into the January transfer window and not backed another manager. And that's my frustration. So I hope that Ten Hag pulls off a miracle with Weghorst, because it's an absolute bargain basement, scraping the barrel signing, very much outside the box. And if it works, it's just another feather in the cap of what a great manager he is. And I think he is. Azad says, I was so pissed when I saw they don't want to buy players because the manager won't last. Is that actually a true statement? I had to get that checked this morning, Azad. So apparently, I'll find the tweet for you in a minute. I couldn't believe it. Mario says, Mark, Murta made the right decision. Felix and Gakpo aren't good enough. Weghorst will do a job till the summer and the director of football is doing his job. Mario, you are talking out your arse. Can we just all introduce Mario as the fake name that John Murta uses? So Glazers put 3 million to Weghorst and pocketed 10 from Ronaldo's wages, says Spencer. Alanga playing as a striker is proving we need a striker, says Aziz. And I think with an energetic forward line and a midfield, we'll be able to press Charlton from the front. Only issue is Harry Maguire, says James. I mean, Maguire should be all right tonight. He's just playing in a bloody World Cup. He should be absolutely fine. But just going back to what was said there, some of you may have missed the morning show this morning. And it was I had to get this double checked. And apparently it is absolutely spot on. So let me just go back to this tweet here. It was from The Athletic this morning. Let me whiz through all this. God, we've tweeted a lot of stuff on the United stand this morning. Fucking hell. Where is it? Okay, here it is. This is it, from Laurie Whitwell. You wouldn't believe this. There are people close to Manchester United who believe buying certain players specifically to meet Ten Hag's brief is a long-term risk, owing to the chances of another change in the dugout at some point. I mean, what the hell? There are people close to United who believe buying certain players specifically to meet Ten Hag's brief is a long-term risk, owing to the chances of another change in the dugout at some point. So there's people close to Manchester United who are already thinking, let's not back the manager because he might get sacked at some point. I mean, what level of prat thinks that? You know, it's like marrying the person of your dreams and everything's going great, upstairs, downstairs, everywhere's brilliant, and then you're planning for the divorce. Enjoy it, back it, get involved. Maguire is not English, would have been solved, says Alan. Div says, Mark, your frustration is justified. However, if the owners are broke or not willing to finance the club anymore, there's not much anyone can do. No, says Div. Well, it's a very defeative attitude. I'm doing something about it. I'm moaning about it. I will not accept it. It won't make any difference, maybe, but I won't just sit there and accept it. I think it's absolutely disgusting that Ten Hag has done such a fantastic job with these players and they've responded so well. He hits January in the most tiresome, relentless season we'll ever see. And Liverpool go and get Gakpo. João Felix and many others are going to Chelsea. Arsenal are about to spend 60, 70 million on Mudryk. Spurs are trying to get Trossard and others. Newcastle are about to buy players. And United are scraping their pockets to get 3 million euros to get Weghorst. I don't think that's backing the manager. I think it's disgusting. I also don't think it's going to be enough. I don't think it will be enough. I think we're going to get found out. I think the squad depth is going to get found out, which is why tonight's so important. So important that these players tonight that play step up, because we need them. We need Harry Maguire. We need Scott McTominay. We need Fred. We need Malacia. We need Alanga. We need Garnacho. Hopefully Mainu has a worldie. We need these players because we need a squad between now and the end of the summer. And clearly the owners are not going to provide them. I'm absolutely livid with this board, says Mark. This is one of the most prestigious football clubs in the world and we throw seasons away in January, says Matty. Well, that is the concern. Don't believe everything you read, mate. The club believe in Eric Ten Hag, the journalist right to sell, says Salai. Well, Laurie Whitwell's a good journalist. Mark, what will you do when Weghorst scores more goals than Ronaldo? He's a great player and provides another option. Mario, that's your last chat because you are John Murta. Using an analogy, Ten Hag has been asked to deliver a fridge, but they don't give him a delivery truck, says Jim. He's got to carry it on his back. Ten Hag, all the weight, all the pressure. Ten Hag, best thing to happen to this club since Sir Alex, says Dazzo. Bit early for that, but I'm massively hoping so. Must be Maguire and his family saying that about Ten Hag, says Magic. Oh God, let's leave them out of it. Let's leave them out of it. But can I also just say this? I'm not having this. I am not having this at all. Right? Where is it? This is the reason I don't like Weghorst. A fucking PS5 controller. That's it. I don't dislike Weghorst. There is a clip out of me that's gone very viral again because a few years ago, maybe as many as 4, I didn't know who Weghorst was. I'm playing FIFA. I'm doing my traditional get stuffed by Burnley, and they have a player up front called Weghorst who suddenly turns into, and this is a good sign for United, prime Ronaldo, scoring goals all over the place, and I lost my shit. I was like, who is this Weghorst? He's not even a real player. He's a Harry Potter character. Send him back to Hogwarts, right? 4 years ago, playing FIFA. I do not dislike Weghorst. It's a myth. And you, as the United Stand community, need to stand behind me and dispel this myth. I have not got an issue with Weghorst. In fact, when I was talking about him on the show on Sunday, he's a pressing monster and he scores a lot of goals in the box. It could work. It's a complete and utter desperation, cheap signing, but it could work, and I hope it does. I am not against Weghorst, and I'm not calling him a flop. I backed Fellaini when we signed him, and I didn't want him. So I want to make it very, very clear. I'm disgusted with the club for spending so little and not backing the manager at the level he wanted to be backed. But I back this manager, and I really hope that Weghorst works out, because the club don't deserve the credit. It will be the manager who deserves the credit. Listening to people near United but won't listen to the manager you signed. Get the press and the owners out of United. By the way, this was the only way Vuk got into United after your 4-2 loss, says Kanishka. Mark, do you think Weghorst signing could turn good like when we got Henrik Larsson, says EJ? I hope so. I'm convinced. Well, it's Henrik Larsson or it's Agallo, isn't it? We don't want anything in between. We want the Larsson one. I'm convinced the way Murta and company are talking, they're staying under the new owners, and I'm terrified, says Ali. I mean, I don't want to bring that negativity into the chat, but I've got to be honest. There's no logic to that, so we may as well not worry about it yet. But I do have this horrible feeling, yes, that Richard Arnold will stay on as the CEO and John Murta will stay as the director of football, which straight away, if that happens, you've got to question the owners and their judgment, because I'm telling you now, if I ran a poll of anybody who knows anything about Man United and said, would you get rid of Richard Arnold and John Murta as the new owner, I think 99% would. So if we've got new owners that keeps them, that's a terrible start. And it will get called out. It will get called out, because that would be a big indicator that these new owners don't really have much of a clue. But we've got no evidence to suggest that will happen. I don't give a rat's ass if United is bought by Saudi, Qatar or Dubai owners. Just back the manager no matter what the cost. Too much bullshit has been committed, says Francis. Evening, Mark. Loving the chat tonight, by the way. You've got us all pumped up like a balloon. It's getting some good, passionate opinions in, which is what it's all about. Alistair Kenny says, evening, Mark. I'm really intrigued to see how this team do tonight. Penny for your thoughts. So the whole Prince Harry thing. Alistair, I couldn't give a shit. I'm not interested in that. All I would say about that is the same. I've been a victim of this. I'm not the heir to the throne who's been sidelined or anything like that. But I've been a victim of one side of the story, and I don't believe in it. The amount of people who've done videos and spread shit about me that I just don't respond to. There's always two sides to a story, and you can't just go with one side when you don't know the other side. So it's all played out for the media. I think it's a good transfer in itself, but not considering the context of the signing. Min, I think you're spot on. Are you concerned Martinez has so little game time ahead of the derby, says Jordan? I think that's why he's starting, Jordan. I think the reason Delot and Martinez are starting and Casemiro and Varane aren't starting is because Casemiro and Varane have had a lot of game time and they afford the rest, whereas match fitness is needed for Martinez and Delot. Good point, though. Well made. Mark, what do you think about Martinez starting today? Will he start in the derby, says Sumya? You know what? He might start Luke Shaw. It depends. He needs match fitness. Watched your video with Fabrizio about Gakpo, took a nap and woke up to Liverpool announcing him, yet United took how long to get Weghorst, says Kia? Yeah. Well, look at Chelsea. Chelsea did João Felix in 24 hours. That sounds wrong, but you know what I mean. And Liverpool did Gakpo in a few hours, and United have taken 4 days already on Weghorst, and apparently we've been speaking about it for a month. Hi Mark, with regards to the City game, do you think Wan-Bissaka is the better option defensively? Sadiq, I can't wait for the Man City game. I'm so excited. I don't know about the team yet. I've not thought about it. Hi, Mark. This is my first super chat ever. Just goes to show you have the best football channel ever. Can you shout out my girlfriend, Nicole? She's my goat. Says, yo, Nicole, you're a goat. Which means greatest of all time. Doesn't mean you're one of them furry things with big teeth. Glenny Boy says, do you reckon it was the Get Poch Brigade out that put that brief out about future change? Says Glenny. They won't succeed. Ten Hag is loved by this fan base. What's the point of the board not backing the manager because of a long-term risk, but at the same time they won't back him to evolve this club, says Obtain. And Sean Turner says, just remember we paid in total 10.5 million for Igalo. So saying the Felix deal was too much is a joke. Sean, thank you. Thank you very much for a common sense there. That's probably a better example than I was giving. So João Felix has gone to Chelsea for about £9 million plus wages. We spent about 10 million on Igalo 2 years ago. And also, we got £5 million from Sevilla for Martial. So it's not that unrealistic what they want for João Felix contextually. If United ever go on a bad run this season, please make sure people don't forget the board didn't back him. Sarvesh, spot on. And Wout Weghorst in the National League, he is known as the guy who, in the Netherlands, he's known as the guy who was always told he's not good enough after a transfer, but succeeds anyway, says Frank. He didn't really succeed at Burnley, but that's a good thing. Cole says, Weghorst could show off Antony's crossing ability. Look, Cole, there's one name I want to mention about Wout Weghorst, and his name is Sebastian Haller. Flopped at West Ham, went to Ajax, and was a revelation under who? Erik ten Hag. So we don't spend last January to save for the new manager in the summer, and this January we don't spend because we spent too much in the summer. I'm confused, says Shafi. And City have Haaland, Liverpool have Nunez, we have Weghorst, and I love it, says Cardo. Inside story, Wan-Bissaka will be sold this window, says Data Scientist. I wish you could interview Manu so you could expose them. Also, hopefully they get out with the Glazers, says Tashi. And Mark, do you think we are in one very good striker away from challenging for the title, says Shook? No, I don't think we are a striker away from challenging. It's a great question. If I could give you anything in January, forget, if you want a striker, it could be Harry Kane, right? Get in the chat. What would you, if I could give you anything, one player, but it's any player in any position, realistically, you're not having Erling Haaland, but, any player that we might buy in the summer you can have now to try and help us win a title or something, what would you go for? Let's hope this team performs well today. Also hoping that Mainu can shine on his debut, says Former. Who's our Cam tonight, and who do you think the next big youngster to come into the team be, says Billy. Well, hopefully the answer is the same for both. Mainu. Mario is a member of the club. Welcome, John. Mario, I hope you get my sarcasm. Same people who took months to choose between Ten Hag and Poch. Of course, they can't see Ten Hag's value. They can't leave this club fast enough, says Shahin. All the stuff about transfers aside, Mark, your hair looks amazing, says Outdoor Adventures with Marine and Rattlesnake. Thank you very much. And it does seem like we are starting to be scouts for other teams to swoop in and grab the ones we want, says Craig's Gaming Corner. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner to do it. We're trying to get up to 550,000 subscribers tonight. Wakey. Come closer. If you know, you know. Okay, right. So, a lot of people are saying Kane, etc. So, Chicharito, says JC. Chicharito. The British pundits who criticise 70 million for 30-year-olds are the same pundits who say we should pay 150 million for Harry Kane. Great player, but I hate the bias, says Con. Welcome to the Members Club, Tim Bennett. If I could buy one player from Manchester United now in January that I think would win us the title, this is going to shock you. This is going to shock you. If I could buy one player that I think would, but we won't buy, but a lot of people are saying if we get a striker like Harry Kane, we'll win the league. I personally think we don't have enough in midfield. I think Casemiro and Eriksen are basically it, and Bruno. And any of those players go and we're fucked. So I would bring another midfielder in because games are won and lost in the midfield. I get it that a top-class striker would help, but I am terrified of what happens if Casemiro or Eriksen get injured. The season will plummet. So I would bring in Enzo Fernandez or Jude Bellingham or Frankie de Jong now, and I think we'd win the title. I actually think having a quality midfielder to work with Casemiro and Eriksen, rotate, that would be more important. That's just my opinion though. Who's this Mainu kid? Have you heard much about him, says Mark? Oh, come on. Loads of people have spoken about him. I believe he's 17 years of age. Really well, liked and been spoken about by a lot of people who follow the youth team for quite a while now. Very excited to watch him. I don't think Felix will be success for Chelsea. He's underperforming for club and nation, says Thomas. And does Newcastle maybe getting Champions League and a new big shirt sponsor with Saudi Airways for the next year scare you for them basically guarantees success for the coming years, says Mirage. I've always said, regardless of Man United's new owners or Liverpool's new owners, if Newcastle get top four, they won't be out of the top four with Man City for decades. They just won't. Once they're in, they won't leave. Mario, our last Mario Franco, our last number 9 signing averaged 32.5 years, just shows how bad we are at recruitment. No, please don't confuse me with the other Pratt Mario, says Mario Franco. Shahik, thank you. Sheikh, thank you very much for the chat. Hi Mark, would you rather buy Mbappe for 150 million or Harry Kane for 75 million? Which would you rather have? Mbappe. Tom Matthews, welcome to the members club. Thank you very much. Wakey. I've got to stop doing it. So let's have a look what Erik ten Hag has been saying, because he always gives us a few quotes before the game. I need to get my earpiece in because I'm going to have to listen to this as well. Not the quotes, the match. Not on TV in the UK. Ten Hag on Kobbie Mainoo's debut. It's about deserving it. Exactly. He has to be ready. We have to step up. I think we have a strong team today. So there we go. On Lisandro Martinez, is he ready? He has to be. He's got some good big leg sessions now, so he'll be ready for this game. And he also said about Mainoo, he did very well in the training camp in Spain and against Everton in a friendly. He deserves to play. I'm happy to give him a chance. The most important thing tonight is to win and go to the semi-finals of the Cup. So there you go. That's some updates from Erik ten Hag there. I think Charlton will be encouraged. So, let's go get this, basically. I think I'm going to type that. But no, Ten Hag has been very, very consistent on, he is, if you look at Ajax, he is a manager that develops players and really wants to do it. But he's also very, 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 very consistent on apparently Charlton's manager's a season ticket holder at Manchester United. Manchester United are close to agreeing a £2.5 million compensation with Besiktas to sign Weghorst. Yeah, we know that. I'm happy. We know that. Ten Hag always does say this about his United side and youth players. He always says, Matthew Bryant, thanks for the super chat. I want to promote the youth. I want to promote the youth. He doesn't repeat it. He doesn't go, I want to promote the youth. I want to promote the youth. He doesn't say it like that. But he always says, I want to promote the youth, but they have to be good enough. I'm not going to play the youth just because they're the youth. I'll play them when I think they deserve a spot in the team. So Garnacho, Mainoo, they are starting because he feels that they deserve it. And people talk about Iqbal. Well, obviously he doesn't feel that Iqbal deserves to start at the moment. And I wish Iqbal was starting, but that's what the manager. Job, welcome to the Members Club. Hate that they schedule Crystal Palace right in between the City and Arsenal games with no rest, says Peter. I don't like it, Peter, but unfortunately there are no spare game weeks. So that's why they've done it. Is there a shout for Tielemans in the summer, or is he too similar to Eriksen, says Hunter? I'd bring Tielemans in. Here's the other Mario. The next Man United midfielder must be versatile. They need to be able to play not only the Casemiro role, but also higher up the pitch. Yeah, I mean, ideally, Mario, but, there's not many people who can do that. I have got my Scooby... I might not be able to see it. I've got my Scooby-Doo pajamas on. Scott McTominay's going to score a goal tonight. He might play more advanced. Kim Min Jae, says Daniel Lee. And Mackenzie says, I've got a funny feeling we're going to need the bench tonight. Struggling to see how we score goals with that team. And Carl Robinson, welcome to the Members Club. Yeah, I mean, looking at that United side next to me, I did say in my preview that we need to rotate tonight because we've got some big games coming up and you've got to trust your reserve players when you're playing a mid-table League One side. Of course you have. But I tell you what, I do look at that United side tonight and I do think that there is a real opportunity for Manchester United to, give them an opportunity, give them a chance. And what I mean by that is I think there might be a chance there for Charlton to and I don't know how good Charlton are. I'm completely and utterly rude in my knowledge of what they're all about. I'll be honest. I don't know what they're all about, but I do think that they will look at it and go, "That's a United. That's not really a United team. That's a United reserve team." Carl, welcome to the Members Club. This squad lacks players like O'Shea. What a player. We need quality in January, yes, but also players who are flexible. Versatility is key, says Con. And what do you think about Hannibal when he comes back, says J Cam? Well, you know, apparently he's doing quite well at Birmingham. I don't know whether he will be a solution this season. Obviously, in the summer, he will come back. Ahmad will come back. I hope they get a chance. Do you think that Alanga will perform well today, says Astro? I really hope, actually. I mean, what I kept saying it in the preview, and it's very important to say it here now. Manchester United are playing a mid-table League One side. If Antony Alanga, Mig, welcome to the Members Club. If Antony Alanga and Scott McTominay and Harry Maguire and Antony and any other player that you've got doubts about can't play well in a game like this, we've got a problem. We've got a big problem. So I think it's one thing to say that Alanga hasn't performed in months, because I'd probably agree with that. But we are playing a League One mid-table side, so I expect that surely Manchester United and surely Alanga will step up at this in this type of a game, because I truly believe that there is a level for Antony Alanga that we just don't know what it is yet, and we don't know what level it is yet. But I'm not concerned. Let me look. I'm providing clippable content all over the place in the last hour, and it could all come back and bite me in the arse. But I think surely Alanga can deliver in a game like this. I think I'm more interested in Mainu, because I think he can deliver in a game like this. Ed B says, if Weghorst is our target, then he should already be here. Why are United going on like this is deal of the century, says Ed B. And Mig, welcome to the Members Club. Well, look, you know, you make a good point, Ed. It's the 10th of January. If Weghorst was our target from the middle of December, he should have been here on January the 1st. And you make a good point that some people probably don't want to acknowledge. The reason Weghorst is taking a bit of time to come to the club is because probably in the last 2 days we've had to go for him. He wasn't the plan, was he? We know that. We just hope he's the solution. We really need to send Alanga on loan, but he is the only backup winger we have at the moment, and that is worrying, says Jack. Yeah, well, you know what, Jack? There was complete and utter naive prats who thought that Jadon Sancho would be on the bench today. And they call themselves Manchester United experts. I mean, do they not use their brains? I mean, Jadon Sancho hasn't trained with the first team yet. And he's not done it for 2.5 months. He's not going to do one session and Ten Hag goes, you're on the bench. We know what Ten Hag's all about. I don't think we'll see Jadon Sancho in a matchday squad. I mean, I hope he's in the Crystal Palace one, which is just over a week away, but he might not be in it until after the Arsenal game. I don't know. I don't know how they're managing that situation. If Weghorst is out, they've done that one from Ed. Jack says we've done that one as well. And Colin says Weghorst 20 goals in 34 games. Burnley did not give him anything to work with. Wolfsburg did. Man United will too, says Colin. Colin, can I just say this to you? You're talking like Weghorst is Lewandowski. Did Bayern Munich want with Weghorst? Do Barcelona want Weghorst? Would Liverpool take Weghorst? Do Arsenal want Weghorst? I get what you're saying, and we need to hope it's going to work. But let's not pretend because Weghorst is coming to United, he's going to score 20 goals. Like, I hope he does. But appreciate that you're actually doing something we shouldn't be doing. You're actually putting pressure onto the lad. My expectations are unknown. I don't know what to expect because it is a bargain basement, short-term, cheap option that Ten Hag has had to take. And Weghorst would swim here. And that's very commendable. But let's not pretend it's easy to come to Manchester United for any striker and just score goals. Because if it was, we wouldn't be in the position we're in for the last 5 years where we've not won a trophy. It's not easy to come and score goals. And if he comes and scores 10 goals in the next 5 months, he's done a fantastic job. So I hope you're right. But I feel like some people are trying to justify this is a great signing in their head, and they're actually just putting pressure on him. He might do really well for us off the bench and score 5 goals. That might be enough. I don't think we should. I don't think we should be labelling this. You know, I think we've just got to see, because it's not his fault. It's not Ten Hag's fault. It's a situation, and we've just got to hope it works. Hi, Mark. Since we're going to sign him, you should know you don't pronounce Voot as wood, but as wout, like you say cow. Greetings from that. What? You should know you don't pronounce Voot as wood, but as wout, like you say cow. That makes no sense to me, Joshua. You say tomato, I say tomato. Mark, you have to remember he's only a backup to Martial. We don't need a superstar, says 7. Well, some people don't rate Martial. Dubai looking to invest in the Premier League and United sold by March equals Matic, says Tarunda. And Mark, your Weghorst Harry Potter joke was reposted by CBS Galazzo. He should be on Harry Potter. I'm not enjoying this, Sumi. You know, I'm not enjoying this. I'm feeling I'm being victimised here. It's pronounced Wouty. Wout. Okay, Wout. Okay, wow. Wout. Wow. Like cow. Cout. Wout. Okay. What do you watch the football through, especially when it isn't on UK TV? Says Bance. We just have to listen to it. That's why I've got my earpiece in. And it's true, I'm Dutch, says Ibrahim. Going back to that previous comment there was a good one from... yeah, look, this bloody reposting of me saying who's about Weghorst, about Wout Weghorst, I've never heard of him. It's 4 years old. I'm getting completely taken out of context. That Wout Weghorst, that clip is 4 years old. I didn't know who he was then. I know who he is now. I don't think he's a Harry Potter character, and I don't think he should go back and hang around with Dumbledore and Ron Grimsley, or whatever his name is. I know who he is. I don't want people to think that I don't like this player. I just didn't know who he was 4 years ago, and he scored a couple of goals against me on a computer-generated football game. It's an old clip. It's not a reaction to United signing him, which some people think it is. If United go on a bad run because of a lack of transfer, do you think the English media will give enough time to Ten Hag? Sarvesh, my biggest concern, and I said this back in May, my biggest concern, and you can listen to this or you can ignore it, my biggest concern always with Ten Hag is I don't think the English media wanted him. The ex-players didn't want him, and I don't think the English media wanted him. They wanted Poch. I think that if things go wrong, and hopefully they never will, they'll turn on him quicker than they ever did with Solskjaer or any other manager. And I also think if things go wrong, they've got their big... They hint at it all the time. They're always on about Dutch, Eredivisie, Dutch. So I think if things went wrong, it would be, well, this is what happens when you just constantly buy players who are Dutch or from the Eredivisie. Of course, Wout is both of those things, although he's been playing in Germany and in Turkey. Have you heard anything about Tom Edwards from Stoke moving to United? He'd be a great understudy for Delo, says Declan. No. And Ten Hag takes us 1 step forward. The Glazers take us 2 steps back, says Boz. Eric Ten Hag is reluctant to bring back Ahmad, given the board not backing Ten Hag in January. Ahmad could provide cover in multiple positions, says Antony. And good evening, Mark. I've seen the story about Qatar, Middle East, possibly only holding a minor stake in United and Glazers to retain ownership. Terrible stuff, says Sire. Mate, I don't worry about this because 4 months ago I never thought the Glazers were going to sell. Now we know they are going to sell. If the Glazers get investment and stay at this football club, what United fans going to go, oh, it's fine, don't worry, have another go? It's not going to happen, is it? If the Glazers try and stay, it doesn't matter what they do. Doesn't matter what they build, doesn't matter what they buy. They'll never be accepted. They'll never turn it around. And we've seen what's happened with the anti-Glazer stuff for years and years now. So, if they're naive enough to think, let's get some money in and stay in charge, I don't think it'll end well anyway. Matthew says, there is a sense of desperation about the Weghorst signing, but I'm intrigued to see how it does. His pressing and hold-up play could really help us control games. Sign someone permanent in the summer, says Matthew. I think what people are missing, about Weghorst, and we're getting very close to the start of the game now, so I don't want to go on about it too much. But I think what people are forgetting about Weghorst is they're not thinking it through. And what I mean by that is it's very easy for me to read the situation with Weghorst, and I think that, you know what, he does press from the front, he can score goals, but there's a very, very obvious kicker. It will be Weghorst or Martial. It will not be both. There is no system that gets both of those players into the team. So if Martial starts doing well, Weghorst will spend a lot of time on the bench coming on for the last 20 minutes. The intriguing thing about Gakpo or João Felix, and I think we need to draw a line under them obviously, is that they could play in multiple positions. So there was a lot more freedom for Ten Hag to go Gakpo play off the right, Rashford off the left, Bruno, Martial. Gakpo play off the left, Rashford go through the middle, Bruno, Antony. There's a lot of things he could have done. João Felix play where Bruno plays, Bruno have a rest, Martial start. João Felix play where Martial plays. With Weghorst, he's going to play up front, or Martial is going to play up front. So, and there's nothing wrong with that, because that's what options give you. But it's a very, he will either play at number 9 or Martial will play at number 9. So, you know, you're right. He's either going to do really well and score a lot of goals, and Martial won't be in the team. But then again, you know what the other kicker is? Martial spent the first half of the season injured, so he might play a lot of games. Who knows? Who knows? Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. Please do subscribe to the channel. I didn't even check how many subscribers we've got. Remember the United stand, it's free to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. It's going to be a very busy January. Transfers, etc, etc. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right hand corner. We're live every night at 8 o'clock. We're live every morning at 10 o'clock with the news, and normally we have a 2 o'clock show as well. We are currently only 300 subscribers away from 549,000 subscribers. You can see it in the top right hand corner, and we're on the road to 550k. So please subscribe, bottom right hand corner, click that button, get involved with the community. You're very welcome. It's a cracking community, and we have very in-depth and passionate conversations, which is what we've been doing for the last hour. If Ten Hag plays Martial at 10, says Broken, he could do. I'm not going to say no, but he could do. Unfortunately, the fans have been unhappy with the Glazers for years, yet they're still here. I'm sorry, but we are powerless, and time has proven that, says Fervent. I don't think so. I don't think they are. I don't think they are. Somebody just said that Weghorst is now officially a Manchester United player. It would be a ridiculous time to confirm that 3 minutes before the start of the game. So I very much doubt that is the case. And it's not. Apparently Dan Juma is leaving Villarreal. I remember when he was a Manchester United target, but not no more. Not no more. We won't be going there. Yeah, we'll keep you up to date with everything that's going on. I know a lot of people are struggling to watch it because it's not on in the UK, but we will keep you up to date. I think you can. Well, I know what I listen to. I listen to MUTV. They'll have live match commentary. Commentary, not coverage, of course. And you know, a lot of people around the world can watch it. So well done to them. And we'll keep you all updated with what is going on. So keep an eye on the chat, of course. But we are 7:57. So we are 3 minutes away from Manchester United against Charlton Athletic for a spot in the semi-final. And I agree with Eric Ten Hag. He's absolutely spot on. Tonight is about winning. That is what it is about. It's about winning this game of football for Manchester United, and hopefully that's what will happen, because it's a huge game, and it's one that Manchester United do need to win. So let's hope that happens, because Manchester United are, of course, playing Charlton Athletic. Let me find my live chat. There we go. We don't talk about Ronaldo. We don't talk about Ronaldo anymore. So we're not going to talk about that. Although no one understood, we were holding back the flood, holding back against the rain. There was no... score prediction, I'm going to go 4-0 to Manchester United tonight. I've just got a feeling. I've got a feeling Man United are going to do it. Thanks for the super chat coming in from... For every other club, January is the transfer window for United. January is just the month of the year, says Philip. McTominay, Fred and squad players is what you love to see. Ten Hag has bought the right players and shows we all have been saying. Squad, says Rick Turner. Welcome to the Members Club. Josh, thank you very much for that. Yeah, legend, appreciate that. Let me just get this commentary on as well. We will reach you. Oh, God, my leg is killing me. Right, I just need to get the 3-0. Rumour says Klein to United. I'm going to sync the timer up across the audio on MUTV, so we can sync the timer to that. Let's see what happens tonight. Want a message, says Rory C. And Man United 3-1 Charlton, says Chicano. And it starts at 8 o'clock. They're not great at telling you when it's starting, are they? Boot, 3-0. Nacho wearing... There we go. Let's get the timer up and running. Manchester United, and it's off. There we go. Thank you, everyone, for getting involved in the chats. Boot will be a player of the future, I'm sure. Ganacho wearing Ronaldo underwear, says Caleb. So, United... line up on the screen for you, and it's Charlton mid-table League One side against Manchester United. I can only apologise on the timer. We put it in for you to sync in with. We've got in the UK, it's not on the TV, radio. I'm sure people will be watching it any other way. We'll keep you up to date with what's going on, and obviously that's fine. But some people who live in countries where they actually put the game on will obviously probably be a little bit ahead or a little bit behind. So we'll keep you updated with what's going on. But Manchester United with an opportunity to get into the quarterfinals of the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup tonight. Alanga's playing down the middle for Manchester United tonight. Antony to Dallo, just over the bar. Manchester United close there, but no cigar. Mark, did you go to the Valley when Charlton were in the Prem, and would you want them back? I managed at the Valley. You know, I'm surprised nobody's asked me. I'm surprised no one's asked me about this yet. I managed at the Valley. I managed the game, didn't I? I managed in the Sidemen game at Charlton. Good chance for Manchester United early on. Dalot has just put it over the bar. Good play between Garnacho and Antony. Well, I think Charlton will fancy their chances. Whether they'll take those chances or not is another thing. But I think they'll certainly fancy their chances. Oh God! Let's get that going. Sorry about that. I think it might have just dropped out a minute there. Straight to penalties. Yes, I think it is straight to penalties. It is a good. I would describe Charlton Athletic as a. I'd describe the Charlton ground as a bit like a mini Old Trafford. Fred losing out in the midfield there. Happy New Year, Mark, says Ian Carpenter. And Garnacho wearing Ronaldo underwear, says Caleb. Me personally would love to see Charlton back in the Premier League, says Alan Dander. Antony will just not use his right foot under any circumstances, says John. And as the game ain't on telly, I'm going to sit and listen to the watch along while I carry on building my Lego McLaren, says Liam. I tell you what, I'd love that. I bloody love that. Not a very good corner for Manchester United there. Yeah. There is no, if it's level at 90 minutes, they just said it on the radio there, if it's level at 90 minutes, it will go straight to extra time. So, yeah, it'll go straight to extra time. Antony's getting a lot of ball in this game. No penalties tonight. Straight to penalties tonight, and no VAR tonight as well. So, ooh, Garnacho, Cruyff turn, goes for goal. He's on fire. Garnacho is on fire here. He's absolutely on fire. Exciting stuff. Sorry, I'm just going to tweet it. What a player we have on our hands here in Garnacho. He absolutely gets it, doesn't he? Now, we are playing a team that's mid-table in League One. I don't know whether I've heard on that, but yeah, he's doing a great job, old Garnacho. And love it, love to see it. So not a bad start by Charlton, but Manchester United obviously will be the favourites to win this game, and we certainly need to do it. But Garnacho is the man at the moment who, look, I can see a lot of people saying in the chat, I don't like this sort of thing, but a lot of people in the chat are saying it. Garnacho outshining Antony, and he cost nothing. I don't know whether I agree with that sort of thing. Another corner for Manchester United, and we're not out of our depth here, which is the main thing. And I know that sounds really odd, but what I'm trying to say is that, we have a weakened reserve side for Manchester United out on the pitch at the moment, but it's not looking like a weakened team at the moment. We're certainly the team in the ascendancy, and Charlton haven't really offered anything much at the moment, and it's Garnacho who is. Newcastle are killing Leicester, apparently. I don't know what the score is in that game, but if anyone wants to let us know, please do. What did I have for dinner, Mark? I actually went out for lunch and had a nice cheeseburger and chips. So I only had a bowl of shreddies for my tea tonight. Thanks for the super chat from Joshua. He says, Harry Maguire's getting some passes in for the highlight reel. In all seriousness, he's having to bypass the midfield because of McTominay not showing for the ball, and his distribution's been good so far. Ridiculous that fans in the UK can't watch this. Unfair on Charlton fans, seeing as this is their biggest game in years and the fans can't see it, says Chris. Well, they chose Newcastle against... They've chosen Newcastle against Leicester, haven't they, on the domestic TV, but you should be able to pay for it. Yeah, I agree. I've always said that. Thanks for the watch along. I'm unable to watch due to work, says Owen, and ridiculous. We've done that as well. Thanks for all the super chats, by the way. Please do subscribe to the channel, bottom right hand corner to do that. Currently, Manchester United are 0-0 against Charlton, and Mainoo's playing at Cam Blazed, and obviously Garnacho doing well at the moment as well. I don't think Mainoo's doing too bad either. But Martinez and Maguire having a lot of the ball, like Joshua says. I betted $10 on a 2-2 draw on handicap mode, says Sporsh. Run Yoriu says that, am I the only person who can see that Garnacho is better than Antony? Well, that is interesting. An interesting thought. Fred blocked. Chance for Fred it was. Didn't go in. Lovely little bit of play by Manchester United. It was a good block, but it's not a goal. It's not a goal. But it was a chance for Fred. Not a great corner from Malacia though. That's not the first time. Is there a good bench for Manchester United, says Shane? Well, we've got who have we got? Rashford's on the bench, Casemiro's on the bench, Martial's not on the bench. Talk to me, people. Who's on the bench? Talk that United want to have a wage cap. How can John Murtagh announce these kind of things if the club is for sale, says Owen. Wage cap won't work. I heard Gary Neville talking about it. I spoke about it a few days before him. and we're on the same page for once. A wage cap is absolutely stupid. Stupid to have a wage cap, because effectively you're asking 200k wage cap means that you won't be able to buy certain players. Harry Maguire's just made a good interception. I think it's a corner for Charlton. Well, I say good defending by Harry Maguire. He's converted a cross with no one near him for a corner. You'd expect him to do it. Super happy Martial's not been risked, says Charlie. Thanks for the super chat, Charlie. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. Garnacho again. Garnacho's just... I don't know whether you're watching, listening or whatever, but Garnacho is tearing it up again here. Absolutely brilliant performance from him. What about 15 minutes into this game? Playing fantastically well. And to be fair, the link-up with Elanga wasn't too bad there. Garnacho, Solskjaer's best signing, says Ronnie. Why do you have to bring Solskjaer into it? Charlton players down injured at the moment. Mary says Garnacho is championship level. Can you say Harry, says Kaylee. Can someone... No, I can't say that, Cammy. Hi, Mark. What happened to Jay? An idea for a new channel, MG, that's haunted, says Volatile. I don't... Look, Volatile, you're asking me to comment on things that I just said about half an hour I don't do. I don't get involved in these Twitter spats or, you know, he said, she said. But Goldbridge most haunted sounds great. What I always find... There's a player injured at the moment. But what I always find funny about these haunted programmes is, yeah, they've been running these most haunted programmes on TV for decades and they've never once seen a fucking ghost. Have you seen how much Martial's transfer value has dropped? He's worth 15 million euros after being at 60 just a few years ago, says Leon. Wow. Says who? Says who? Garnacho, he's been brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I completely agree. Lots of love for him. Good to hear. Dello with the cross. Transfer market, Leon. I'm not going to listen to transfer market. Sorry. Poor old Wilfred. He's having a pop at Elanga. Well, what are your thoughts on the first sort of 20 minutes here? United have been on top. I think if we picked our strongest team, we'd probably be 3 or 4-0 up. I did say when I saw the team news, very intelligent rotation by Ten Hag. Especially nice to see a couple of youngsters like Garnacho and Elanga playing. but it will make it a tighter game. And in that sense, it makes it a more interesting game. I think we've got the players in reserve to come and win it. I think if you brought Rashford on in the last 20 minutes at 0-0, we'd win it. We've not had any updates on Donny's injury yet, Lucy. Would you play Kaz, Ericsson and Bruno at the Etihad? I think that midfield lacks muscle, says Chiri. Well, we'll start talking about that after tonight, mate. We've got to get into the semi-final at the moment. What do you mean there's something wrong with my mic? I've not done anything to my mic. Turn your volume down. It's been absolutely fine for the last hour. What are people talking about? What do you mean volume? Is someone trying to be a clever twat? And what's it? Let's all tell Mark his audio's too loud. Hi Mark, it's an unusual request. No streaming is available. Linda, can you be more detailed in your match viewing? Says Mohit. Defo went loud. Wow. Maybe refresh it. I don't know why that would be the case. What about now? It's massively gone high. Oh. Hi Mark, just what's your opinion on Aaron Wan-Bissaka? Do you see progress in Antony, says Venkat? Volume's fine. Hi Mark, love the content, especially when United are actually playing good football. Could Wout Weghorst be a signing of Benjamin Sesko in the summer? That was a super chat from Asher. What I would say about that, Asher, is 1-0 to Manchester United. A lot of people are saying it. I've not got it in my ear yet, but it's 1-0 to Manchester United. And it's Antony, Fred, Antony. There it is. Fred to Antony. And on that left foot, it's 1-0 to Manchester United. And it's Antony with the goal. Sorry we're a little bit behind. We're having to listen to it. But Manchester United are 1-0 up. It's a nice ball out to Fred. He's on his left foot. Pure naivety. Pure naivety from Charlton. It's like Iron Robin. Do not let them on their left foot. And you know what? I'm going to find the tweet and I'm going to retweet it. Because people were giving me shit. And 1-0. Antony. Check out my Twitter. If you know, you know. At Mark Goldbridge. But that's what Antony can do. He's got a wand of a left foot. And yeah, that is basically a brilliant shot. And it's a brilliant goal by Antony. If you haven't seen it, he picks it up on the left-hand side, on the right-hand side, on his left foot. And bends it in. League One, Championship, whatever. Call it whatever level you like. But if you give Antony... He might not have a right foot, but if you give him a shot on his left foot, it's actually quite easy what he's done. It's a brilliant, delightful curl. If you've ever played FIFA, it's basically the R1 circle. The finesse finish, but on the left foot. And that will give him some confidence. Obviously, he scored recently as well for Manchester United. He scored again. 1-0, and we're in cruise control already, despite the fact that we've got quite a lot of rotation. But lovely goal by Manchester United, and a lovely goal by Antony, and I believe in him. I think the price is ridiculous, but that's never his fault. That's John Murtaugh's fault. The price is ridiculous, but the quality of that left foot is exactly why I was excited about him. And we have got no other player with a left foot. So very, very important, and a very, very good goal. Great goal. Alanga with a chance there. Hi, Mark. Hope you're doing good. Also, people really need to calm down about Antony. He's already got 5 goals, and apparently he's a flop. Give him time. I'm just looking at something here. And now you should be able to hear me. And I'm just hoping it might reset it for some people, because I know people have had a bit of problems. Okay, that might be better now. Yeah, I just needed to reset it. I think something went wrong with it, so that's better. Thanks everyone who was up. Sorry if you're having a problem with that, but for some reason the volume just seemed to go. Is Antony our second top scorer? Top signings is Charlie Max. Thank you very much, Charlie. Well, they've not really done anything. They've not really done anything, have they, Charlton? We should cruise through this game, but it's encouraging that people like Antony... You know what, if I'm Ten Hag, I think everything he's done since the World Cup has had that Midas touch. The rotation has worked in every sense. Players have gradually built fitness that didn't go to the World Cup. You know, Antony scored a couple of goals. Garnacho's getting better. You can start Kobe Mainoo. You can rest Casemiro, Varane, Rashford, Luke Shaw ahead of massive games in the Manchester derby. It's it's fantastic what he's been able to do, and I'm very, very encouraged by it. So, right, the volume should now be back to what it was previously like before it started messing around. I've played the game, and I don't know what's going on, Goldbridge. I don't know. Yeah, you can tell me I'm muted, but you're a twat, Max, because I know I'm not muted. I do have a system in place. It's much better. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to leave it now. I'm going to leave it. So, Man United lead 1-0 after, 26 minutes? And we're into cruise control. How is Mainoo playing, Mark? First I've heard of the 17-year-old, and has he got potential, says Finn. Every young player's got potential, Finn. It's just whether they want to realise it. Matt, I can't do that while I'm live, mate. Sorry. But United have dominated possession. Let me just show you so far just how much this rotated Manchester United side. Oh, Garnacho pulled it back to McTominay and didn't quite get on the end of it. It was good build-up play by Man United, but McTominay, they're saying on the radio that Garnacho should have picked out McTominay. I think that's just, considering one of these co-commentators is actually an ex-player, he can't pick out McTominay because there's a Charlton player. He plays it into the path for McTominay to make the run, and McTominay doesn't make the run. They're actually blaming McTominay on the radio there, blaming Garnacho. It's not. It was a very good ball. Beryl, it should be fine now. Maguire's been solid. Looks like we have finally found his level, says Jack. I can't believe people compared Darwin to Antony. It makes me laugh, says Alfie. I personally think Darwin Núñez will be a very, very, very good addition to Manchester United. Not to Liverpool. I think he will. It wasn't Garnacho. I agree with Town. It wasn't Garnacho's fault. I think McTominay was just caught a little bit flat-footed. I would agree. Let me just show you these stats. Oh, I can't show you the stats because I've not got control of the bloody thing. I will have it control for it very, very soon. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. We're only 100 away from 549,000. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Maguire. Captain armbands on. Captain Maguire. I think he's got next to no chance of starting in the Manchester derby. but rotation, might get to play in the final. I mean, that would be an interesting thing. If you get to the semi-final of the Carabao Cup and you've got to play Man City twice, do you stick with these players and get knocked out, or do you actually go strong? I've played the game. I think you've got to go strong. Could be a lot of games, though. A lot of games, Graham. So there's the stats on the screen at the moment. 72% possession for Manchester United with an 87% pass accuracy. I mean, look at that Man United side, which I'm about to pop on your screen for you now. And we've got 72% possession. And it's basically no Martial, no Rashford, no Bruno, no Casemiro, no Eriksen, no Varane, no Luke Shaw, no Dalot. You know, we've changed most of our team and we're still dominating a first team from a League One. Which you would expect, but it hasn't always been the case. So big it up. Big it up. McFred as a rotation is not bad. Hope we will get to see Iqbal, says Chiri. Garnacho is just sorry, Dalot is playing, of course, yeah, sorry. Garnacho is man of the half for me. I think Mainoo's been very steady as well. Just makes things happen, Garnacho, doesn't he? Just makes things happen. Thanks, Fennick, and all the moderators. Do your thing. Charlie says, I completely agree. Erik ten Hag seems to be making all the right decisions at the right times. I think it's time we start to come to terms with the fact we have a top-class manager and he deserves the backing. Completely agree. Alex says, my only issue with this lineup is that it looks like it will start Eriksen in the derby. I really feel Fred is the better decision for more. Agree, says Alex. I mean, look, we've been brilliant over the last few games. But it is Charlton. It is Everton. It is Bournemouth. It is Wolves. It is Forest. They're not very good when you look at their league position. So Man City at the weekend, I'm excited about Man City and Arsenal because they're first and second in the league, and it's a chance for us to see where we are. But we might not be there. You know, we might be brushed aside. And I'm sure Ten Hag is feeling the same. It's an opportunity to see how much they've grown. And I fancy us, I really do. But that's why it's exciting. If we beat Man City on Saturday, people can't be saying on Saturday evening, oh, it's only Bournemouth. It's a huge test. McFred has already done that one from Chiri as well. We need to get the second goal here. Mark, the goals on Twitter looks a very good one, says Ronald. It was a very good one. Antony on his left foot, wonderful foot. I don't fancy Charlton to score tonight. I think now we've got the goal. Let's get the second goal and just building confidence here. No disrespect to Charlton, but we don't want United to be like England, only winning to smaller teams. Well, exactly. And we're only 100 subscribers away from 549k. If you've not subscribed, please do, bottom right-hand corner. Fred's playing well. Well, look, he is playing well. I just would say that, you know, we're playing a League One mid-table side. We're not playing Man City at home. Antony's had the chance again. Antony needs a right foot, says James. I don't think we're going to buy one of those in the transfer window, to be honest. As much as we might like to, that's not going to happen. Right, Dalot's gone down injured here. Can we talk about how cute Garnacho is, says Nana? You can. shit, Delo's coming off. Oh, for fuck's sake. This is not good. But you know what? I hate to say it, and I hate to say this, it's going to happen. This is why just getting Weghorst for €3 million isn't good enough. We are going to have injuries. Delo played how many games? 3 games a week until the World Cup, and then went to the World Cup and got injured. And I think, you know, it's a relentless season. Nice confidence boost for Antony, and love the rotation again. Still trying to work out why we have Charlton at centre-back captaining too, says Sean O'Reilly. Alanga is drifting out of the game. I think hopefully it's just precautionary. Fred hits the post. Free kick. I'm a little bit more worried about Delo, to be honest, but he's not being stretched off or anything like that, and I think he's sort of indicating to the bench that he's going to go straight down the tunnel. Wan-Bissaka on for Delo. Hopefully it's just a precaution, says Jake Marshall. He looked okay, and he just seemed to spoke to Ten Hag. Hope so. Hope so. Fred free kick was Beckham-esque, by the way. Think about David Beckham at Old Trafford against Greece for England. It had that sort of a movement on it, and it hits the post. Fred's had a good game. I'd say the 2 standout players for me are Garnacho and Fred. Don't know what anyone else thinks. It's only Charlton. At least we're playing the way we should be playing, which is great to say. Yeah, Steve, I'd agree. I think it's about momentum, isn't it? Whoever you play, whether it's Man City, Charlton, you want to, whether it's your first team or your reserves, you want everybody to play the same way. Liverpool have been the master of this, and Man City have been the master of this for years. You rotate, but whoever you play the same way. Whoever's in your team or not. What do you think so far of the debut, Sean? I think it's been very good. As I said, I think the team could have been seen as a boost to Charlton, and Charlton might have fancied their chances, but I think Man United have done well. So yeah, happy. Would Weghorst be available for Saturday, says Jaden? If we really motor, then yeah, he could. But it's be nice to have him as an option, to be honest. Fred Dead Redemption, says Dino. Well, look, I can't say anything here because I think what will happen is people will say it's a mid-table League One side. But Charlton have had a free kick as well. I expect Man United to win this 4-0. But, you know, some players are doing... The way I would describe it, some players have looked very good because they're playing the League One mid-table side. And some people, I think, should be performing better against a mid-table League One side. So, for me, I think Maguire and Martinez and Malacia have looked good. Obviously, Delo's gone off. Heaton's not been tested. I think Fred's looked good. I think McTominay could do better. I think Mainoo's looked good for a debutant who's 17. I think Garnacho's looked good. I think Antony's looked good. And I think so for me, Alanga and McTominay would be the 2 that I think should be doing better at this level. Everybody else I'd be pretty pleased with. That would be my interpretation. Go straight to penalties, Augustus, if it's a draw. I'll be knocking on your door. Wakey, wakey. Come closer. Go back. Bingo, bingo. N123 says anyone who doesn't rate McTominay must be blind. Well, you must be blood. You need to get yourself down Specsavers, mate. Wakey, wakey. I'm going to keep using that. Marky Wines. Big support from Italy. I love you, Mark, says Samuel Kante. Mark, I'll be honest, I'm watching this game and I think Malacia has been below average, says Gwydion. Well, Marky, what we got for you, Abdul? We've got a glass of water. We've got a glass of water. £100. £100. Where have you come from? Where have you come from? You must be a mushroom. Must be kept in the dark. £100. Best water you'll get in Midlands. Where have you come from? Wakey. Marky. We've got a glass of water, £100. And I've got some Quality Street orange ones I didn't eat at Christmas. £300. Where you come from? Marky. Come closer. Go back. Bingo. Glass of water, £100. And some Quality Street I didn't like, £300. More bargains tomorrow. He started it. Someone in the chat started that. Calling it Marky Wines. Marky. More bargains later. If you don't know what we're talking about, it will just be like... whoosh. We're having a good time. It's the Carabao Cup. We could be in the semi-final. Draw tomorrow at 10 o'clock after the Man City game. Maguire just got bodied to the floor by the Charlton striker. It was a bit of a low blow. In the other game, the score at the moment is 0-0, Leicester and Newcastle. Both teams gone quite strong. You got to. 10 shots to 2 for Leicester. Yeah, Pope, Trippier, Longstaff, Almiron, Wilson, Joel Linton. They've gone with Ndidi, Tillemans, Perez, Aldaka, Barnes. Yeah. Strong teams. McTominay's lack of progress under both Ten Hag and Casemiro is really disappointing. Hasn't changed since Ollie, says Andrew. He is what he is. Mark, would you give the number 7 to Garnacho, says Cody? I'd protect him. I'd protect Garnacho. I think long term, he could be. I mean, he could be, but he's been my man of the match. Fred and Garnacho have been the best players on the pitch so far. Yeah, Cassius says Elanga's been dreadful. I think that Elanga and McTominay have been the two that have disappointed me, really. Quick question, Mark. What's the best shop in Marky? Jared? It's not Wakey, it's Marky. Why did Delors get subbed off? Injured, Simran. Probably precautionary. I'm going to be United's new. I'm bringing Vine back. I'm going to bring Vine back, if you know what that is, and it's going to be Marky Vines. And I'm going to be the new director of football of Manchester United. Abdul, come closer. It's Marky Wines. Marky. We've got Scott McTominay for £500 million. Where have you come from? £500 for Scott. £500 for Scott McTominay and £200 million for Harry Maguire. Bingo. Marky. More deals like that tomorrow. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, £200 million. £200 million tomorrow. Charlton on the attack here. Malacia, good defending by Malacia there. Hi Mark, should we focus on good Europa run or a cup run, or can we do both this season? Maguire got sent back to Leicester there. He got nutmegged. The funniest thing is seeing Harry Maguire trying to sprint back. I thought he was going backwards, but poor Harry. He got dirty Harry. He got done dirty there. Got nutmegged. I cannot wait to see Arsenal demolish United, Marky, says Nelly. I'm not meant to be Peter Kay. I'm meant to be Wakey. I love the clips. I do. I think it's if basically there's a shop in Wakefield, and they sell this energy drink that's kids are waking up on Christmas Day and they're not opening up a PS5, they're opening a bottle of energy drink that costs a couple of quid, and they're crying like, you've brought their dead dog back to life. It's amazing. So there's this shop in Wakefield where there's these clips where people are travelling from all over the country to give him hundreds of pounds to buy a can of pop. It would be the best sitcom since Alan Partridge if it was meant to be a sitcom. But I think it's actually real. I like watching it from a funny point of view. There was a girl on today, and she was she stood next to him, and it's like, wakey, wakey, where have you come from? Doncaster. What you got? I've got some of your sweet. I don't know what the sweets are. What are these WFD sweets? What are the sweets? I bought 2 cans of this for 200 quid and a bag of your sweets for 50 quid. What's the best shop in Wakefield? Wakey Wakey Wines. Thanks. Big shout out to everyone, and big shout out to my girlfriend in HMP. It's just great. It's just brilliant. And then the other one was, what's the best shop in Wakefield? Tesco. It's actually quite funny to watch. It's actually quite funny to watch. But I don't know what that candy is. What is this candy? 50 quid for a bag of sweets. What's gone? Who makes the sweets? Willy Wonka? Willy Wonka. Happy to see Maguire and McTominay finally finding their level, says Julian. The Ute in the chat, they'll know what these sweets are, but I don't know what it is. Garnacho needs to pass more, says Andrian. Mark, Antony makes too many mistakes. Mark, yeah, but the goal was good. The goal was good. Why are they booing Wan-Bissaka and Antony? Charlton? Crystal Palace? Don't know. Heaton did well there. Charlton were on the attack here, and Tom Heaton does quite well. Cross it, yeah. You'd expect him to do better there. I don't rate David May much as a football analysis. It's a cross on the front post. He should catch it, and he did. So it was okay keeping from Heaton, but good to see. Good to see. Want to keep that clean sheet. And to be fair to Charlton, the goal's a great goal from Antony. It's a really good goal, isn't it? So, what's the best shop in Wakey? Tesco, says Christopher. Shall I do some keep-ups at half-time? I've got no slippers on, so it might be difficult. MUTV have got it on radio. Damn, if you want to listen to it. Bring out your own drink, Mark. Oh, I'd love to. I don't think people will be travelling to Wakefield to get a can of Goldbridge. I could call it Dutch Gold because it could be but that's already been done. Do you think Antony is too one-dimensional, says Ali? Oh, come on, cut the lad a break. He's scored a good goal. I think the great thing about Antony is he's definitely adjusting and he's not there yet, but he's popping up with goals. Ash says, if you do 100 keep-ups, I'll buy you some candy. If I do 100 keep-ups in this space, I'll donate 100 quid to myself. A can of Goldie. We could call it Goldie. A lot of possession for Manchester United, but we probably haven't created a lot. And I think I'm going to talk about why we haven't created a lot at half-time. Please do subscribe to the channel at half-time. What we got, Abdul? We're 2 subscribers away from 549k. So bottom right-hand corner, subscribe. Sam says, I'm from Wakefield and this is the best advertising we've had for years. Have you not seen outside the shop of Wakey Wakey Wines? People go outside the shop and start singing the names of Abdul. Goldbridge for your Goldbridge. Goldbridge for your cold fridge, says Niall. There we go. Clever way for him to launder his cash, says Joshua Bowater. Half time, Manchester United are at 1-0 to themselves. And Tansy says it will be 1-0. Well, it is 1-0 at half time. So if you predicted that, well done. There is no prize, but it is 1-0 at half time. Don't forget, we're sponsored by Boohoo Man. I'm wearing one of their hoodies. The link is in the description. Or you can scan the QR code as it goes round. You can get 10% off with the code Goldbridge. Loads of stuff. If you're down the gym, running around, or just relaxing, eating quality street leftover from Christmas, you can get loads of good clothing items from Boohoo Man, reasonably priced, with an extra 10% off with the code Goldbridge. Check them out. Use the code. Get involved. Thank you very much for everybody who does. Let's have a look at those stats, those beautiful stats at half time, because that's what we're looking at. Manchester United. Antony refuses to take on his man or go to the blind and put in a ball. Give it to Mikey. I do want to talk about Antony at half time. I think you raise a good point, and I do want to talk about him. I also want to talk about Charlton hate Crystal Palace. So that's why they're booing Harry Maguire. Aaron Wan-Bissaka says, what's his face? Exactly. So look at that half. 73% possession for Manchester United. 27. I'm going to take that out of my ear for a bit. 73% possession for Manchester United, 27% possession for Charlton, 89% pass success rate. That's very, very high. Charlton haven't really done anything. They're playing on the counter. You would expect that. How many shots have we had? 10. How many shots have we had on target? 1. That's the disappointment for me. If you're going to be picky, we could do with creating a lot more. But my opinion on this is very simple. I think Garnacho's played well. I think Mainoo's played well. I think Fred's played well. But obviously, the right-back situation changed. Malassi has been okay. Alanga has been typical Alanga. I think that's what you can say. And Antony probably does need to take his man on a bit more. Probably does need to express himself a little bit more. So you can see why we've not really created enough. But look, the goal's fantastic. We're 1-0 up. We've got 1 foot into the semi-final. And Ten Hag will definitely be thinking, job done. If we'd picked Rashford, Martial, Casemiro, Eriksen, Varane, I think we'd be 3 or 4-0 up. And you can see why Ten Hag's done what he's done. And actually, I take the positives out of a half like that. Because we are resting key players ahead of 3 massive Premier League games. And we are 1-0 up and reasonably comfortable with a 17-year-old. Garnacho's also a kid, really. Alanga's playing up front. And McTominay and Fred in the midfield. So, and Maguire's playing at centre-back. So, and Heaton's in goal. So, for me, look, is it super entertaining with chance after chance after chance? No, it's not. But it's immaculate, intelligent use of your squad to get, you know, if I'm Ten Hag tonight and we win this game 1 or 2-0 and I've rested the players I have, and I've given Mainoo an opportunity, and Fred's played well and Garnacho's played well, it's great. This is the level Alanga should be playing at for his development, says McElvis. Well, maybe. I think it amazes me that Everton are looking at Alanga. I do not see a Premier League player there at the moment. Championship is where I would start, but, do you know why Aaron Wan-Bissaka is being booed? He's just come on, says Remortality. He's being booed by the Charlton fans. Charlton don't like Palace. Everton wanting Alanga shows how badly run they are. He's going to stop them from getting relegated. Also, we should try and get Danjuma, says Jack. Any idea why United fans are booing? They're not booing Wan-Bissaka, Daniel. It's Charlton. Antony should not play against City. He has been subpar, so annoying to watch, says Sage. And to be fair to Alanga, he's only had 1 ball fed to him and Scott overcooked it. Graveyard shift, says Sean. Welcome to Members Club, Gerald. Yeah, I would agree. It is a graveyard shift for everybody else. Can I just say about Antony? I'm going to dive straight into this and I'm not going to shirk it. In relation to Antony, you're right. A lot of the criticism is right, first of all. Let me just be fair and say he doesn't take his man on enough. He doesn't put enough crosses into the box. And, I think he needs to be a little bit more expressive. And that means take your man on, put your cross in. But he scored a really good goal. And he's only been at the club, technically, for September, half of October, and then, since Christmas to now. So he's been here for 2 months, really. He got injured middle of October. I've got to stop doing that. Injured middle of October. World Cup until end of December. So, and didn't start until the start of September. So he's been here 2 months and he's scored what, 5, 6, 7 goals. I think that with Antony, he is scoring goals, and that is a talent in itself. It's an attribute in itself. So I feel that there is a lot of people. I don't know what it is with Antony. There doesn't seem to be a lot of patience. I see it in the chat, I see it on social media, I see it in the media. There doesn't seem to be any patience with Antony, and it's one of 3 things. 1, it's just the normal, he's foreign, which I hope it's not. 2, it's the price tag, 85 million quid, which is not his fault. Or 3, his flamboyance and arrogance as a person, as a player, makes him dislikable to some. But he's only really been here for 2 months. He's scored more than a handful of goals for a winger. And, you look at how patient people have been with Maguire and Sancho, and you think, why is this lad being judged so soon? Now, it's not exclusive to Manchester United. I'm telling you now, Darwin Núñez will be a success, but some people just seem to be determined to call him a flop. And I think Antony will be a success, but some people are determined to call him a flop. Look, I will die on that hill. I will sit here and say I think Antony's going to be a success, but I'm not going to also sit here and say that there's not improvement to be had. But I also think it's very early days to be judging a player. And you know what I think as well? I think if Antony had been bought for the proper price by Man United in June, 50 million quid, he wouldn't be under the pressure he is. I think United, John Murtagh, Richard Arnold and everyone else involved in that deal have actually heaped pressure onto the lad by spending. And remember, it's not just 85 million, it's 85 million plus add-ons. The fee on his shoulders is ridiculous, and I think it's making people put unfair pressure onto him, in my opinion. There's definitely improvement, but if he didn't have that big price tag, he would just be a signing that's having his first few months at Manchester United in the Premier League and is actually nowhere near the finished article, but he's doing okay and will get better. But there's unrealistic expectation and pressure on the lad, and I don't think it's very fair. And whenever I talk about stuff like this, I always refer to people like Vidic and Evra. We got Vidic and Evra, and they looked pretty shit for 6 months, and then they got better and better and better and become world class. You've got to have a bit of patience. Get Gary Barlow on and sing it. My disappointment is immeasurable by day is ruined, says Tanks. And these Charlton fans are booing Wan-Bissaka because of his Charlton Palace connections, but they have a Palace player on loan, says Shane. Oh, it's political correctness gone mad, Shane. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. I'm going to do some keep-ups in a minute. Well, I don't know whether people want me to. Yeah, make sure you subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. We're only 2 subscribers away from 549k on the road to 550. And also, remember, we're live every night at 8 o'clock, every morning at 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Loads of stuff to get involved with on the channel and some exciting announcements to come in the next couple of weeks as well. I'm so bloody excited. I feel like doing a spoiler, but I'll be in trouble. Mark, move on to the future. Antony's too one-footed, says Jermaine. Yeah, but Jermaine, I don't want to be disrespectful here, but Arjen Robben was totally left-footed. Totally left-footed. And was one of the best. I would have loved him at Man United. So I don't buy into he's so one-footed. I agree that he needs to be more clever in how he's one-footed because I agree with that. But just because you're one-footed doesn't mean you're not going to be a success. Good to see how many players we get in the box. Little bit more equality and this tie would be over. Garnacho's performance, great given transfer situation, says Delino. Garnacho for me has been the success story of the half and possibly of the last few weeks. I mean, I don't expect Garnacho to be doing what he's doing at the moment. I remember Ryan Giggs when he broke into the United team and he just became a first team regular at 17. He was just unbelievable. And, Ryan Giggs went on to have an unbelievable career at Manchester United. And I'm not for 1 minute saying Garnacho's going to do that. But a young player should be like a Rashford or a Greenwood in the sense that, they're in and out of the team. You don't expect consistency. And I think he's been brilliant, Garnacho. He's been the player of the half for me with Fred. So, look, I'm so impressed with him. Yeah, sometimes he needs to release the ball quicker. But you know what? There was a point in the first half where MUTV were basically saying that it's a bad pass. He goes to the byline, he cuts it back to McTominay, and they're like, oh, he should have found McTominay there. actually, he played a really good pass in front of McTominay because he couldn't find McTominay because there was a Charlton player in the way. McTominay was doing his normal trick of hiding behind a player, and he should have moved forward. It was a really good ball by Garnacho. So I think Garnacho's been really good. I think Fred's been really good. I'm not going to go overboard because I think Mainoo's done really well as well for a 17-year-old debutant. I think he's been good. But I also want to say we are playing Charlton Athletic, who, for the millionth time in the last 24 hours, are a mid-table League One side. Not Championship, they're a mid-table League One side. They're closer to non-league football than they are the Premier League. So we should be seeing all of that team performing like Fred and like Garnacho. They should all be putting in 7. It would be interesting what the player ratings are like because they should all be putting 7 and 8s in because of what the opposition is. There's 1 or 2 players on that pitch who really should be doing better because there's nowhere to hide. Now, of course, Maguire got nutmegged. That can happen at any level. I think Maguire's been pretty average. You know, he's been okay, to be fair. But there's a couple of players that have been below average, and they need to do better at this level. You're playing a mid-table League One side at Old Trafford. You can't hide behind an intimidating little ground. It's Old Trafford, and I think Scott McTominay has to be doing more. He's 25 now. You know, he's a leader in that dressing room. So whether people like that or not, he's got to perform better. What has he given in that first 45 minutes? That, you know, he's got to do more. Got to do more. And I think Alanga's got to do more for different reasons. If Ten Hag trusts Antony, I trust him, says Dante. The quality is there with Antony. Lacks maturity and poor decision making, but that will come with time. He's got the right guy in charge of him, Dylan. Ten Hag. Mark, Murta flew into Wakefield today for some cold candy for £50. As usually, left with nothing. He's going back tomorrow to offer nothing, says Kyle. Mark, just home from work. How have we performed? Are you happy with it, says Marcus. You've just given me an idea. Hello, everybody. Who are you and where have you come from? It's John, and I've come from Old Trafford. John, what you got, John? What you got, John? Have you got some of me cans for £100 or have you got some of me sweets for £50? No, I've got a Mars bar that says 20p, which I've given you 400 quid for. And there's another bag of crisps, what says 10p on it, which I've given you £100 for. Oh, John, what's the best shop in Wakey? It's here. I've got, look, any more money, I'll be back. Come closer, Abdul. That's my line. Come closer, Abdul. Go back, Abdul. Bingo, bingo. John Murta, he'll be back tomorrow to spend more money on crap. I had to do it. Anyway, look, on behalf of Charlton, I think they've done quite well. But Manchester United, I'm very happy. Look, the only negatives for me, Alanga needs a loan. I think we all know that. I'd hoped against Charlton he might get a goal, get a bit of confidence. It's Charlton. And I think Scott McTominay needs to do a lot more. I mean, God, in fairness to McTominay, really good personality, really good person to have around the team, well-liked, bit of, vocal, leader, whatever. But we know his limitations in the holding midfield position when he's playing in the Premier League. You're playing League One, mates. You should be running this game. You should be running this game like Casemiro in the League One. So a little bit more. I said Wakey, it's Marky. Fred has been decent. I love Wakey Wines. I just love the clips. If you take it as comedy, I think it's hilarious. If you take it as reality, it's scary. Adam, welcome to... Thank you very much for the super chat. McTominay's 26 now, apparently. What about Alanga? He's in the graveyard shift, says Paul. Oh, here we go. So those sweets are apparently from a car YouTuber called DMO. He's got a business called Cold Candy, and they make custom sweets for Wakey Wines. 50 quid for a bag of sweets. Tell you what. Crazy. It's crazy. Anyway, second half's about to kick off here. We haven't seen any changes for Manchester United. Kobe's doing great, says GH. Yeah, I feel like we haven't spoken about Kobe Mainoo enough. And you're right. I think he's done well because we're not necessarily talking about him because he has done well. I don't expect Kobe Mainoo to score 2 goals and get 3 assists. But for a debut, I think he's done well. McTominay was good for his mentality a season or so rather than his ability. We now have players who have the right mentality and ability, says Garth. If Ten Hag had to sell Fred or McTominay this summer, who does he sell, says HKN. Question came up shortly in the morning to strengthen the midfield. Thought on getting Isco. He's a free agent. Does he strengthen the midfield? Mark is spot on. McShite is 26 and struggling against mid-table League One side. Well, let's hopefully see something in the second half. Ow. Keeps up, says Caddy. I do need to do the keep ups. It's not that Antony's one-footed, but he's too predictable most times. He needs to be more aggressive and assertive and confident, says Kia. Um, 123 says you're trending. I better not be trending. Why? I don't like trend. I know a lot of people probably think, oh, I'd like to trend. You wouldn't want to trend, trust me. I'm not trending, thank God for that. Weghorst is trending. Paul Pogba is trending. Here We Go is trending. Kobe Mainoo is trending. And Shakira is trending. We don't want to trend. We're happy in our own lane, in our community. Well, there's a lot of good talent on the bench, but hopefully we won't use it. Apparently Antony scored in the 21st minute and he's number 21. Bit of a chance for Charlton there. Yeah, trending does normally mean cancelled. You're trending on YouTube. Oh, right. Okay. It wasn't a great chance for Charlton, that, Fraser. On his left foot. Problem I find with United youth is they never loan a player to develop them and then bring them back in the team. Every time we loan a player out, we just end up selling them when they get back, says Reverse Clouds. Thanks for all the super chats tonight, and make sure you subscribe, bottom right hand corner. I don't think I'm sorry. I went into a daze there. I'm listening away to the match, and then I'm reading about the chat, and I was just reading. I got a lot. That never happens in all the years. I must be getting old. I literally fell asleep. I was just reading all the chat. Fahima says, "Welcome to the Members Club." Thank you very much, Fahima. Appreciate that. And we've also got a super chat. Just had the yummiest triple decker, says Rowan. Oh God, I can't wait to go to Dublin. I'm hopefully going to Dublin in March. So March international break, fingers crossed, I'm coming to Dublin. Night out, Hairy Lemon, and Copperface Jacks in the day, triple-decker O'Brien's. If you know, you know. Our comment, Hadami has not produced a good number 6 in ages. Says Cherry. Offside. Alanga just scored. Offside. Wan-Bissaka with the cross as well. It's a shame. That would have been lovely because it's a Wan-Bissaka cross, and he's absolutely miles off. Absolutely miles off. Yeah. There is no VAR as well, so you can be a little bit offside. Bit too old for coppers, says MI. Yeah, I probably wouldn't let me in. I mean, it's 20 years since I've been. Yeah, I mean, there is no VAR. No, I don't mind trending on YouTube. That's absolutely fine, and I'm used to that. But I don't want to be trending on Twitter. And I thought that for a minute I might be trending on Twitter because of the marky stuff I've been doing. If Braga win the league, they will be the first winner since 2001, other than Benfica, Porto or Sporting. Do you remember United playing Braga in the 2012-13 Champions League? Yeah, I do, Claydon. Braga. Where did they disappear to? We will have we will have player ratings for you in the second half. So that's, for me, is going to be the most important thing. How you rate the performances tonight. As I said, for me, the standout players in the first half were Garnacho and Fred, and the players that I think need to improve are Alanga and McTominay. Best pub in Dublin is the Hairy Lemon. They still haven't messaged me to say I can have a private party there, but you know, they're probably just so arrogant, going, yes, we are. An evening with Goldbridge at the Hairy Lemon. That sounds to me like a plan. Nice, intimate pub. Used to have a great jukebox. All wood. It wasn't that sort of bar. I mean, like it was actual wood from a tree. What's the maximum number of keep-ups you've done so far, says Andrew? It's normally tiredness that defeats me. So I think just before Christmas I did 392. Cooking with Goldbridge is coming back soon. Yeah. Gibney's in Malahide. That used to be my local, Andrew. Although I did probably prefer Duffy's for the football. Maguire's just kicked the ball out of play. Can't put that on your clips, can you? What I think of Kobe Mainu says, I think it's intelligent. You know, he doesn't need to have a 10 out of 10 performance. He just needs to have a performance that's okay. And I think it's been better than okay. You know, he's playing for Man United, his debut in a competitive quarter-final. What's Palestri got to do to get some game time, says Seb? Well, I'd like to see him come on, actually. All right, Mark, heard you were on about Dublin night out. I don't know, Kian. I don't know. And that was never part of my night out in Dublin. I didn't need to smoke any cheese. I was more than happy with Guinness. Gang says that Martinez has been a bit off tonight. I think Martinez and Maguire have done okay, but they've been a little bit sloppy. Mark, in March. It's my 45th birthday. Let's have a drink in Dublin. Mainu with a bit of a chance there. Been so nice not having to watch McTominay, says Joshua Bowwater. You cheeky get. Going to 2 stag do's, one after the other in Dublin this year. Where should we go, says Treble Chat. I haven't been to Dublin for years, mate. But don't go to Temple Bar, because that's the tourist area. Anybody who lives in Dublin or knows Dublin, you don't go to Temple Bar. I mean, there are some nice bars in Temple Bar, but it's just tourist. It's not real Dublin. Get yourself up to, round Stephen's Green and the back streets around there. There's some great pubs. Need to start putting such games to bed way sooner, says Neil. Yeah, it's the reserves, mate. I don't know that there's many bars on Grafton Street, Gary, but there's a lot around the back, or there used to be. Messer Maguire's on the Liffey's used to be quite good. It was on like 3 or 4 levels. Can't wait. I tell you what, I can't wait for this game on Saturday. Man City, Manchester Derby. Just can't wait. What a test it's going to be. What a test that's going to be, I think Man City look vulnerable. I do. Bunda equals London slang for girls, not drugs, says Jack. Oh, right, okay. Aaron Wan-Bissaka is really good, says Martin. Looks happy. Well, of course, Delo went off in the first half, so, might be playing in the Manchester Derby now. Jason, I don't think McTominay's going anywhere in the summer, to be honest, but I think he needs to kick on. I mean, he's not really been anywhere near the first team since the World Cup, has he? And he hasn't particularly played that well either. So you got to do a dessert cooking with Goldbridge. The sticky toffee pudding was superb, says Ronan. It was, Don't forget to get a mortgage out before you go out in Dublin, says Dan. Take it's expensive. We need a CDM replacement if he leaves, says Ronan. I mean, I'm just going to tweet it now, but we are screwed at CDM if Casemiro gets injured. Got to buy one in summer. Coming over from Dublin for the Reading game, says Jay. Hope you enjoy it. Typical, I can't watch Manchester Derby because I'm refereeing in the County Cup, says Dylan. Just send everybody off, and then you'll be able to finish. Isn't there a limitation on how many people can play? Ghost sighting in Old Trafford, seen wearing United kit and roaming in the middle of the park. Haunting and got 105 fever, in and out of sleep. That wakey stuff has done my head in. I oddly want a £50 bag of sweets, says Rob. At least it's a £50 bag of sweets you want and not a £50 bag. Antony's not the player I thought he was yet, says Ash G. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. Apparently it's 1-0 to Newcastle. Man City play tomorrow. I can't remember what the other semi-final is. Callum says, do you think Pogba would do well under Eric Ten Hag? No, because he's injured. Casemiro's coming on here. Save him for City, says Giannos. Giving him half an hour. I think he'll give Rashford half an hour as well. Well, maybe not half an hour, but I think he'll give him time. Mad Bro says, McTominay can't do a job against a third-tier team that Casemiro has to come on. You know what? Be careful. He might take Fred off and rest Fred for the derby and put McTominay in the Fred role. The draw is tomorrow night. Thanks everyone who's subscribing, by the way. We're on the road to 550k. Get involved with the channel. United Stand, live every night, 8 o'clock, every morning at 10. Mainu's coming off for Casemiro. And Antony's coming off. So I think his plan all along was just to give Mainu a little bit of time, wasn't it? Scott surviving again. Well, he's probably not playing again. Eriksen's coming on as well. Getting good. He's bringing a lot of players on here. So Rashford's coming on. Eriksen's coming on. McTominay's still not given a fair chance in his position, says Joseph. What position is that then? So Alanga's gone to the right. Rashford's gone down the middle. Good night, Charlton, says Knives' cousin. I think it might be a struggle for them now. So Rashford's going to play in Antony's role. Casemiro, McTominay, and who did Eriksen come on for? Fred. Yeah, Fred's came off for Eriksen. So, there might be a chance that Fred's involved in the derby. A lot of people have said we need to play Fred in the derby to bring a bit of tenacity there. So maybe Fred, Casemiro still have a chance. Well, Casemiro will start, but taking Fred off, I mean, McTominay's got zero chance. Maguire's got zero chance. It'd be nice to see Palestri come on, Dean, but we don't always get what we want. Mark, make a five-a-side team with current United players, says Damini. De Gea, Martinez, Shaw. Because I'm thinking about five-a-side players here. I don't think Varane is going to suit a five-a-side team. You want people who are good on the ball. Actually, I don't know. Actually, I definitely want Casemiro. How many do I get? De Gea? No. So I'd go De Gea. I'd actually probably go De Gea, Casemiro, Shaw. 2 left. Bruno would be good at five-a-side, and Rashford. McTominay's like a cockroach. He can survive anything, even Ten Hag, says Jack. Hi, Mark. You supporters and even now pundits have said we desperately need a new midfielder. How on earth did Ollie and his staff not see this, says Gary? Well, you all saw it. For years we spoke about the need for a CDM and we didn't get it. Do I think Garnacho will start against City, Jan? No. No, I think it's Martial, Rashford and Antony. United need to sign Goldbridge from TUSFC in January. I forgot to play that today, Ronan. I felt bad. McTominay is the 5th choice midfielder at this point. Donny was even getting more minutes. Also, what was Deleu's injury? Just got here due to work, says Brandon. He went off with some sort of pain in his leg. He was able to walk. Ben Wright says, does it look like Deleu's injury has put him out of the City game? Well, with 4 days to go, you would expect it to. But it didn't look severe, but it could be just precautionary. Hopefully it is. But we're going to pick up more of those. I think we'll pick up quite a lot of those injuries unless we're very lucky. Maybe Ten Hag will push Bruno to the right for Antony and have Casemiro, Fred, and Eriksen in the midfield. Could do vacation. That's a very good idea. They said that Mark. They say never meet your heroes, but can I buy you a pint and have a chat when you come to Dublin? Come on, United, says the Phantom Master. I'm sure that can be arranged. Mark, do you think we're close to any centre forward, says David? Yes. Wow, Weghorst. Thanks for the streams. Me and my father have been watching since 500k, says Zarux. Cheers, thanks for the support. Mark, if we beat City and Palace, we could be second before the Arsenal game, says Phil. And Blackett Taylor is a good left wing for the TUSFC, says Wan. Yeah, you can do your player ratings in about 5 minutes. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. Garnacho. Save. Garnacho nearly gets a goal. Zyrox, welcome to the Members Club. Good ball by McTominay as well. Fair play. Garnacho released by McTominay. Good play. Good shot. Good save. Good play all round. Good ball by McTominay. Good shot by Garnacho. Good save by the Charlton keeper. Would have sealed the deal. Good pass by Scooby-Doo. Well, I'm expecting a goal from Scooby-Doo. I don't put my tartan jammers on for anybody. Alanga is on the pitch still, yeah. United need to just get that second goal. I mean, I think it's probably over anyway. Don't think Charlton will score, but the quality we've got on the pitch. It'd be a nice name when he scores. Weghorst! Just, it's a name that you want to be dramatic about, isn't it? Weghorst! What's the harder game, City or Arsenal, says Antony? Great question. Man City's harder because it comes first. I think if you lose to City, the bubble bursts. So your hardest game is always your next game. Told you McSauce does well in his proper position, says Joseph. Yeah, I'd agree that McTominay's not a CDM. If he's anything, he always does his best work when he's got licence to go forward. I'm loving Eric Ten Hag. He's played the game, says Stephen Hayes. Thank you very much, Stephen. We are in the studio after my match reaction. Really loving those studio fan forums at the moment. We've got another one for them tonight after my match reaction. I'm sure we'll be talking about Weghorst and everything as well. I get the feeling Man United might announce that deal in the next 24 hours. I certainly think we'll announce Weghorst before Friday. And I feel he might be on the bench on Saturday. What we know about Ten Hag is that when he signs a player, I mean, he started Antony. So I think he will be on the bench for the City game. He'll certainly want Weghorst in yesterday. You know, if he's bringing a player in, whether it's the player he wants or not, he'll want him involved. I've played the game. That's a Sean Dyche one. I've played the game with Wood. Tarkovsky. I'm biding my time to come back. Good tackle there. Down. Yeah, we're back. Gravel. Dyche to Everton needs to happen. I'm back on Talk Sport on Saturday night. Don't know why I'm telling you that. It's a bit of a risky return for the Mark Goldbridge show on Talk Sport on Saturday night because it's the evening of the Manchester Derby. The Manchester Derby will have happened. So we'll either be loads of United fans ringing up saying this is brilliant, we're the best, and we'll have a national radio platform to do it, or we'll lose and it'll be bubbles burst, we're shit. Bridge, I admired your work ethic, says Chuck. Thank you very much. Newcastle are 2-0 up. Leicester going out. Newcastle into the semis. I mean, it won't be... I played the game. It won't be an easy Carabao Cup to win. I've played the game. I've managed Newcastle. Graham Souness. Newcastle... What's the other quarter final? Man City will win, so it'll be Man City, us, Newcastle, and who else? What's the other quarter final? Weghorst would work out to be a masterstroke by Ten Hag if his role is to be a target man and hold the ball up and bring Rashford and others into play, says Michelle. Ooh, the semi-final draw is tomorrow. After the 2 games tomorrow, it's Wolves apparently. Our recruitment is so poor because we have an Everton grade director of football and data analysts from the fashion industry, says Alexander Phillips. It's Wolves versus Forest. Well, we'll win that. That's who you want, innit? You don't want Newcastle or City. Over 2 legs. That'd be very difficult, actually, when you think about it. So, United's next few games are this. We're going to win tonight. So, our next few games, Saturday, Manchester Derby. Wednesday, Crystal Palace in the league. Sunday, Arsenal in the league. Midweek, first leg, could be Newcastle or Man City. Weekend, Reading, FA Cup. Midweek, second leg, Newcastle, Man City. So it's difficult. It's difficult. I'm sure David May just said, I farted. I think he said half-hearted. It sounded like, I farted. You're not banned, HJ. Some good movement by Man United tonight. Just not been able to get that second goal. Alanga should be loaned out, says Gabrielle. Draw for semi-final is tomorrow. Leicester just missed a sitter, says Luke. Run, Luke. Vardy missed it. Get Palestri on. Be nice to see Palestri. We've still got 20 minutes to go. Smash the like button. Make sure you subscribe, by the way, on the road to 550k. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Player ratings will be out very soon. You can mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. Star for your man of the match. We'll go through that on the player ratings straight after this. I'd be very surprised if we don't score the second goal with the quality that's on the pitch now. Rashford, Casemiro, Eriksen. What did you have for lunch? I went out for lunch, James. I had a fantastic burger and chips from the local pub. Very nice. Akib says, Alanga offers absolutely nothing. Thoughts on Nathan Collins as LT Varane replacements as Killian? No, I don't think Nathan Collins will end up playing top 4 football, to be honest. Mark, who would be in your all-time Premier League 5-a-side team? Can't do that, PT5. Takes too much thinking time on a watch-along. Well, Tom Heaton had to make another save here. Charlton have been quite progressive. I mean, they say great save. He catches a cross. I mean, what's David May on about? Tom Heaton has caught 2 crosses and he's a top goalkeeper. I think he must play golf with him. He must play golf. It would have been nice to see James Garner in games like this. It's a shame we've sold him. Such potential, says Sam. I think we sold Garner because we needed some money. I don't think we sold Garner for the right reasons. With Chelsea bringing in Felix and Badiashile, do you think they are now a real threat for top 4? Nope. I think the gap's too big, Jack. I might be wrong, but I think it might be too big. You know what? I think Charlton have done okay. I think United have done enough, and it's been nice to rest players and go to a semi-final. Because, normally we'd have to pick our strongest team. I think the long-term plan for Manchester United is Weghorst comes in on a loan, and then in the summer you try and buy Kane or Osman or Sesko or, you know, someone like that. Are you worried about City? Says Owen. You've got to respect Man City. But I think it's such an opportunity. I'd be disappointed if we lost. I feel that we've made so much progress since the start of the season that if we got beat by City on Saturday, it's sort of, well, where are we then? Because are we a flat track bully? We beat all the teams below us, but we can't really impact the teams above us. I think we've got to get a result on Saturday. I mean, a draw is probably the logical guess, but I just feel we're going to win, and I think we need to win. I think we need to. Winning won't mean we're going to win the league. It won't mean we're going to finish above City or Arsenal, but it will just be a nice progression or step. Charlton manager is a United season ticket holder, says Clayton. Oh, it should be a handball here. Keeper's slid out, apparently. Ref's a prat, says Muzzy. Well, there's no VAR. So they can't check it. Oh, how's the... You know what? Referee's so close to that, isn't he? Must be blind, says Zero Blade. So keeper came out to get the ball. It's very wet. He slips out of his box in front of the referee and he says, play on. Anyway, Malacia has been booked as Charlton countered the other way. Remember, it's there's 15 minutes to go here, and 15 minutes to go, and it's go straight to penalties if Charlton did find an equaliser, which I don't think they will. So, free kick for Charlton here. Put the game to bed, says Will Deal. If Weghorst does okay, do you see Man United offering him a longer contract, says Neil? Could be a backup striker. Well, would you need Weghorst if you're going to buy a Kane in the summer and you're going to keep Martial? Do you need 3 strikers? That would be the question. Do you think Weghorst will bench Martial for the rest of the season, says Big? You never know with Ten Hag, you know. I wouldn't have thought so. But you never think so. Free kick straight at the keeper from Charlton. It was a good free kick area. Don't have any news on Van der Beek football. I don't know what... United are sometimes quite frustrating around injuries, you know. They will know the extent of Van der Beek's injury now. They will know it's been, what, a week? Maybe longer than a week, actually. They will know the issue with Van der Beek. There was a tweet I put out at the weekend, I think it was, that it's a serious injury. It's never been confirmed. But they will know what it is, so I don't know why they've not said anything about it. Charlton are having a go now in this last 10 minutes. Jen says, what are we doing? Flynn says, it's been a terrible performance tonight. Well, I'd be very interested to see what your player ratings are. You can do them on the website, theunitedstand.com. In fact, I'll drop it in the live chat for you as well. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. Star for your man of the match. Let me pin it for you. Player ratings, votes here. Wakey, wakey. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. Links in the chat. I'd be very interested to see what people give certain players. I had very distinct ideas at half-time as to who I think were the standout players. I've got to be honest, those standout players in the second half, one of them came off quite a while ago and the other one has still been quite quiet. I think Maguire's getting booked. I don't like what I'm reading in the chat. Maguire getting the stick again. If we get new owners, will they keep Ten Hag, says Zeus? Yes. Oh, he's absolutely... Maguire's been done badly there, hasn't he? Yellow card. I think Maguire is... I remember... It's funny enough, I was speaking to a footballer a few years ago, probably 2 years ago, and Premier League footballer, doesn't play for Man United. And we were talking about Harry Maguire, and they're a winger, and they said he is quite vulnerable to the nutmeg because he's got such a big stride when he's running and also when he stands you up. And if you look at Maguire, when he runs, he has a very big stride. And when he stands there to block a player, he does keep his legs quite wide open. And it's funny because that winger said to me 2 years ago, it is in your head a lot when you're up against Maguire to try the nutmeg. And he said, really, you don't really try that much as a player because it's not easy to do. But against Maguire, it's always in your head because he does leave a gap. Mark, or anyone, what's Scott done for us? I feel like we're playing with 10 men. Sure, he had one decent forward pass, says Summy. He did play a good pass. Does Weghorst have potential to surprise everyone, says Golden Falcon? No, I think he gets what? Garnacho again on a run. I think Weghorst wouldn't be as surprised if he scores goals. Look at his record at Wolfsburg. Scored goals for the Netherlands. I mean, it's just where you put him, really. I think the problem with Weghorst is he's cheap, and that's why we're getting him. He's not what Ten Hag actually wanted. But that doesn't mean he can't do anything. Now, the question's going to be, will it end up being like a Garlo, or will it end up being like Henrik Larsson, which was a success as a short-term thing? And I think it is a short-term thing. It could end up being a long-term thing, but I think ultimately it's a short-term. He's 31 in the summer. Do you think City's a bit vulnerable? I do, Mike. I do. I hope so, anyway. And hoping we keep our run of form because I'm up to my first game on the 4th of Feb against Palace, says Sean. Mark, you can barely cope against the pub team. You must be worried against Arsenal, says Zane. Oh, yeah, terrified. We're playing our reserves, mate. Why is Maguire still United captain, says Texas. Apparently Palestri's going to come on. 1, 2, 3. Well, we've got less than 10 minutes. Nice to see him coming on, though. The link's in the video description as well for player ratings. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. I'll tell you what else is in the video description. The link for Boohoo Man. You can get 10% off with the Boohoo Man QR code or by using the code Goldbridge. I'm wearing the Boohoo Man hoodie here. They've got loads of stuff you can get, really well discounted. Active wear, relaxing wear. Check Boohoo Man out. Links in the video description. 10% off with the code Goldbridge. Scan the QR code to get there. Yeah, I get loads of stuff from Boohoo Man because I just chill around the house. I don't do a lot of gym work. I just do a lot of, want to relax in a hoodie and tracksuit work. At least I'm honest. It wasn't so long ago we were playing these games and getting bantered. 16-year-olds, YCS kids, Longstaff brothers. The list was endless, says Nick P. Keeper's had a good game for Charlton. He's probably been the man of the match for them. Ericsson again. Remember at the weekend he hit that shot. And really good Charlton keeper. He's probably been the best player on the pitch. Made 2 fantastic saves. Don't know anything about him. But Maynard Winegums. Lovely. Always get a bag of them at Christmas. I don't think he makes them. Raymond, I've just banned you. type away, but I've just banned you, just so you know. You're obviously looking for attention, so I gave it you. Palestri time. Coming on for Elanga. Many people would like to have seen Palestri a lot more than Elanga anyway. Zane, don't forget who gave you that loss this season already, says Rob. The fight back. He's a Ross County legend, is Maynard, says Kyle. Money Master says it's been a terrible performance, really. It's been what you'd expect from a team that's rusty. I'm still laughing at Maguire's yellow card, says Mutasan. As Burnt says, we're winning 1-0. It's job done for Manchester United. Thanks everyone who's tuned in, by the way. Don't forget not to miss the Manchester Derby watch along on Saturday lunchtime. I'll be hyper. I'll be absolutely hyper for that. I'm so excited about it. I think it's a huge test. It's a huge line in the sand, and I think we've got to win. I do. I think we've got to win that game, and we've certainly got to not get beat and take something from it. It's a very good football weekend coming up because we've got the North London derby on Sunday, which I'm going to do on That's Football as well. Very much looking forward to it. Patrick's going to the derby. Yeah, I like the kickoff times as well. 12:30 on Saturday for the Manchester derby, and then 4:30 for the North London derby on the Sunday. So a nice weekend of football, and yeah, very much looking forward to it. And I do think it's such a hard game to predict because we've done really well, but we have played a lot of crap. And Man City don't look particularly smooth at the moment. Palestri is good. He looks sharp. Yeah, well, look, what Palestri's doing, what he did against, what he did for Uruguay when he came on. Gets the ball and he's direct. I'll call it now. 2-1 Man United. Rashford double. Haaland man of the match. Martinez says Nava. Member for 5 months. Thanks, pal. Make sure you subscribe. Bottom right hand corner. We're only 500 away from 550k. Bottom right hand corner. Subscribe. Still can't believe people are talking about our reserves. Good day from Australia. I'm very happy, Mitch. I think it's has echoes of Bournemouth last week. Really, this performance. It's get the job done. Comfortable. Move on to the next one, rotate, keep people fresh. The only slight concern is the low thing, but that's not. That could happen in the first minute. That could happen if he comes on as a sub. We win, Arsenal lose, and we're in the title race, says Raz. Rashford realising what the graveyard shift is here, says 16. Don't forget to do your player ratings. I've put it in the live chat, pinned it. It's also in the video description. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. We'll talk about it straight after this. Oh, Charlton are pushing a bit here. There's a couple of minutes to go. Josh says City will win 4-1. You see, that to me would be, I think for any United fan, would be just so hard on many levels. If we get beat comfortably on Saturday, it's sort of like, oh, we're still bloody miles off, you know? Charlton's weekly wage is 99k and Maguire's on 200k, says Grumpy Arsehole. You are a grumpy arsehole. It's 2-0 to Manchester United. Rashford's finished this game off, by the way. 2-0 and Rashi scores again. I'm behind with the radio, so I've not heard it yet. It's Palestri. Palestri with the assist as well. Get that boy some more game time. Great tackle by Casemiro. 6 in 6 for Rashford, but it's a great ball by Casemiro. Absolutely delightful ball by Casemiro. And Palestri does all the work. What a ball. I tell you what, it's an immaculate goal. From end to end, Casemiro, brilliant pass. Palestri, brilliant pass. Rashford, brilliant goal. Get Palestri more game time. It's just a great goal by Man United. I mean, I like Elanga. I do like Elanga, but he's offered more in 5 minutes than Elanga's offered in 5 months. He looks like a player that could work in a Ten Hag system, Palestri. He looks like a player that could play at number 10. He looks a very interesting player. Why Elanga over Palestri, says Carmine. We've got to trust Eric Ten Hag because he's doing a great job. But I think we saw with Palestri in the World Cup, and you can't judge a player on the World Cup, but he's a United player who can't even get on the bench, and he's playing in a World Cup. So I just think he's got to be worth a go. You don't miss in the heat of the battle, says Tanksy. Top bloke you are, Mark. Always smiling and keeping everyone happy. Being a subscriber, says Declan, since 40k and the old United calendar in the background. Keep up the good work. Always watch your videos. Great team. Thanks, Declan. Well, we're cruising through again. And look, don't forget to do your player ratings. I'm very interested to see what you give people. Maguire's been skinned again, says Nerdstop. McTominay flop. Ten Hag needs to give him a chance like he's a player who can open up a defensive side, Kelly. He's a very, very good technical player. You know what? I could see Palestri in a Man City kit. Reminds me of Bernardo Silva. Reminds me of David Silva. Reminds me of Foden. He's got that low centre of gravity and he glides and his passing's good as well. I think there's a player there. I do. But you got to trust Ten Hag. Gwydion says Elanga can't lace Palestri's boots and Ten Hag needs to give him a chance. He's a player who can open up a defensive side, says Kelly James. I hope he gets time. I really do hope he gets some game time. I mean, it's the first time we've bloody seen him, isn't it? But I think he'll be off on loan, unfortunately. I know what it is about Elanga, by the way. I know what Rangnick liked about him, and I know what Ten Hag likes him. He's tall, and he's fast, and he's quite physical. And so he offers you something that, well, Palestri doesn't offer you any of those things. But I like it. I like him. It might be that Ten Hag looks at him and goes, he's a similar type to Garnacho. I don't need a player like that, but Newcastle have won as well. They've gone through 2-0. And United are about to go through here as well. I think it could be... it's 3-0 to Manchester United now. Rashford again. Thanks to the chat. They're miles ahead. Hi, Mark. Why Elanga over Palestri? Says Merhit. Don't know. Palestri's got a role to play in it again, I'm telling you. I didn't get the assist on that, but Rashford's got 2 here. Everyone needs to remember Ten Hag is human and humans make mistakes. It's all about learning from it, so really I hope he decides to develop him, says Kelly Jones. Casemiro. 2 balls from Casemiro, Summy, and Rashford's finish is delightful. So easy for him at the moment up front. Darren, thank you very much. I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? It's Charlton Athletic. They're a mid-table League One side. I should know that like the back of my hand. But Rashford down the middle with 2 left-foot finishes looks very, very good. Casemiro, Rashford scoring goals. Quality is what quality is. And I think Rashford probably was onside, but there is no VAR anyway. But both on his left foot from Rashford as well. Man City, that's what it's all about. It is. Don't forget to do your player ratings. I mean, Rashford scored 2 goals in, 20 minutes? He might nick man of the match here from Garnacho. It'll be up to you to decide whether that's the case or not. But Manchester United have won this game 2-0. 3-0. 3-0 win for Manchester United. And a nice clean sheet, which was probably all your player ratings. Links in the video description. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. I'm going to be over on the player rating. Sorry, I'm going to be over on my match reaction in about a minute's time, and we'll get into it there. But thanks everyone for tuning in, and I'll see you over on the match reaction in a couple of minutes. Do your player ratings, links in the description, and we'll get on it there.